Hello, everybody. Welcome.
Oh, hi, hello.
Yes, Lorebeards 40K. We are back. I think it's in our best interest to always start the show with an introduction if we can. Just so this is what Andy and Ryan told us when we first started this thing, is that they wish they had done more introductions.
Well,
Do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, sure. So, hello, everyone. My name is Norn Queen Alexis. I am a content producer, a Warhammer aficionado, a reader, and a professional player. I am ranked number 3 in Iceland right now, and I'm very happy about that.
Congrats.
Yeah, just took 4th in a recent tournament. It was a lot of fun. One of the hardest opponents I ever had was my first game in the tournament, and we both just looked at each other and we were just like, oh god, why isn't this round 3?
Alexis
It was good.
Alexis is also a skilled cosplayer and a commission painter. And
I am making a shield right now.
That's right. She makes costume stuff as well, guys.
This is actually a real shield, like you used for combat.
Oh, it's not even yeah. Well,
yeah.
I was thinking cosplay, but you're right. That is an actual for real shield you use in your Viking practice. So
yep. And this is Ross. Everyone knows Ross.
Hi, everybody. My name is Ross Watson. I'm a game designer and author. I've worked on a whole bunch of stuff for Warhammer 40K roleplay and several 40K video games, as well as a whole bunch of other stuff. But mainly, I'm here because I know a lot about Warhammer, like a lot. So
just a wee bit, right? We've only dedicated thousands of hours of our lives to this.
Welcome. Our community is called Lore Seekers. We're really glad to see you guys show up. Thank you very much for supporting us. And today we're going to be doing a tier list of Chaos Warbands.
So first off, we need to define what a Chaos Warband actually is.
Yes, please do.
So I'm going to give you the simple version. Ross is going to go into way more detail about this. So the simple version is during the Horus Heresy, when the Emperor was when the kids of the Emperor were having a hissy fit and decided to overthrow everything their dad makes, as puberty and whatever, Chaos Space Marines started to split into separate groups after the Scouring. Legions fell apart and warbands were created. Some warbands are as big as legions. Some warbands are only a few dozen Space Marines. Some warbands are actually just one Space Marine and a whole bunch of humans. But today we're focusing on the more well-known warbands, and we are going to make a make your own warband in the near future, and I'm very excited about that because we're going to continue the work with our own warband that we made here on the channel.
The Cackling Death.
Yes. So Ross, give us some more details on this.
I mean, you basically covered it. There was this galactic civil war 10,000 years ago called the Horus Heresy. The Chaos side technically lost, and they absconded into a region of space called the Eye of Terror. Also, there's other places that they go, but that's where most of them ended up. And they continue to prey upon the Imperium and other forces that they encounter over time. These sometimes called the Traitor Legions or Traitor Marines. Most of them are led by or composed of Chaos Space Marines, Renegade chapters. There are groups of humans and aliens that work with them, of course, but the Astartes in general, that's the name of Space Marines, the Adeptus Astartes or Astartes, are just long-lived, extremely good at fighting, and have a lot of genetic and surgical implants that help them survive and thrive better than most. That's why they're most of the time in charge. They're bigger, stronger, faster, tougher, and have better guns. So
yep, they're also kind of crazy. Half of the Chaos warbands that we're going to be talking about in this case are a little bit heretical.
Well, Chaos is a corruptive force, and when you are part of a Chaos warband, insanity is just kind of it's an occupational hazard, as is mutation, as are beginning to possessed by demons or consorting with rogue psychers and other beings that exist in the warp or are connected to the warp. So
yeah, I love the idea of Chaos Warbands. I have my own personal Chaos Warband. It is led by a character called Umbra Nox, and she is absolutely insane. She's a corrupted sister of battle that leads a force of berserkers and guards, well, former guardsmen, now heretical mutants. And it's just all about like blood and death and evil and do battery.
I like Friend or Trader here says sanity is for the weak. That is something that they believe, generally speaking. Although there are some. Go ahead.
That is also a quote from Dawn of War.
Yes. Yes.
Sanity is for the weak.
Do you hear the voices too?
The enemy hides in boxes, metal boxes.
Oh God. Oh, there's so, Dawn of War has got so many good quotes. I put a lot of Dawn of War quotes into Dark Heresy, when I was working on Warhammer 40K roleplay. And I've continued to try and, honor the legacy of those barks, those weird statements from Dawn of War throughout all, video games I've worked on and other things.
The one thing that I love about like Chaos Space Marines is, for the most part, except Space Marine 2, all Chaos characters are quotable. And I absolutely love that. Like, I could do the entire like rant of like the whole metal boxes thing, and it's so funny.
Oh boy. Well, I haven't played those games in a long time, although I did just buy the remaster, so maybe I will go back and play them some more. And Dawn of War 4 is coming out, so kind of excited about that.
Oh my God, they have a quote in Dawn of War 4 that I'm so happy with.
Oh, it's out then?
No, not yet. It's in the trailer, the Orc trailer that dropped a few days ago. And one of my favorite things is the war boss Grimskull just going, they're escaping. And he's just like, but we're crashing, crash faster. And he just hits the big red button to get the ship to go. I love orcs so much.
I've got to watch that. I haven't watched it yet. It's clearly calling to me right now.
Yeah. See, that's what makes 40K so good, is the enemies. Like, everyone is a bad guy. Everyone is the worst case scenario. It is the worst future. It is the opposite side of the coin from Star Trek. It is 40K. It's as evil as it can get. And I absolutely love it. Everyone is bad and doing stupid things, but the enemies are so iconic and so quotable, and they all look like they're out of an 80s metal band.
Well, so there's a really strong 80s metal connection to 40K in general and Games Workshop as a whole. I would love to talk about that eventually, but we have some super chats we should probably read.
We do. I did just want to mention one thing. My buddy pointed this out to me the other day. This was like 4 years ago. So the other day,
4 years
time
ago.
has stopped having meaning ever since, COVID. But he was telling me, he's like, do you know what the inspiration for the Terminator helmet is and why they have tusks? And I was like, no, what is it? And he's like, it's Motorhead.
Oh my God, it is. Oh my God, it is. Holy crap.
Yeah, right?
Holy shit. Now, right? Oh my God, you've blown my mind. Okay.
Right. Wow. That's how I felt. We were inside Lemmy's, which is a Motorhead bar here. Wow, my accent just kicked in. Here in Iceland. Best bar in Iceland, by the way. You can actually get some good drinks. But, oh my God, when I saw that, I was like, no way. I looked over. Holy shit. Well, now I need to build some Chaos Space Marines.
All right, so we got our first super chat from Friender Trader. Thank you very much, Friender Trader. Let the failed sons of useless Primarchs cower in the eye. The claws of the tyrant shall strike from the maelstrom and cut red into the Imperium. Hell yeah, brother. That's a good quote from Huron Blackheart. I dig it. That's great. I mean, I don't know if he actually said it, but it sounds like it would come out of his mouth. That's awesome.
That does sound like a Huron Blackheart quote. If not, no, it sounds like either him or Abaddon.
Skylar Martin, 4298 says, whoever wins, I will be satisfied that the Alpha Legion are the real winners.
I mean, Alpha Legion are everywhere. And I love that they self-sabotage as much as they sabotage everyone else.
So
they didn't fall to Zinch.
We're going to talk about the Alpha Legion tonight, which is well, today, I should say, which is really great. We're going to do a whole episode on the Alpha Legion eventually, and they're fascinating, and their role in the narrative of 40K is fascinating as well, because they're this beautiful jewel of uncertainty. You never know what's going on exactly. All right, so what's the next one I got here? Oh, Jesper Carlson. I'm sorry, I didn't get that out right. Jesper Carlson 2853. Thank you very much, sir. The way Sanguinius would come back is to use the established fact Astartes are moths. Is that established? So upon reaching a certain age, Dante will pupate and Sanguinius will emerge. I missed the stream this was discussed. We did have a stream about how Sanguinius could return. Poor Dante. He just wants to die.
Here's a real question. Do you think he needs to come back? Or do you think the Sanguinor is his stand-in?
So, well, for people who want the answers to those questions in depth, please go check out that episode, because we did a very deep dive. I will briefly summarize here and say, I don't think Sanguinius should come back, but I think he could come back.
Yes.
The reason why I don't think he should is because his death is very meaningful and impactful in the setting, and it would lose a lot of that if he were to return. It would essentially establish the Primarchs are unkillable, which removes a lot of stakes from the setting. Anyway, wait, go back.
We'll go back.
So the Sanguinor, you asked, didn't you ask about the Sanguinor?
Yes, I just asked about the Sanguinor. God, I could speak. I promise we are professionals at speaking.
So the Sanguinor, my belief, based on all the, because I read Devastation of Baal. I'm a big Blood Angel player. I've got like tons of Blood Angel stuff. I'm a big Blood Angel guy. And I believe, based on everything that I know, that the Sanguinor has some kind of connection to Sanguinius, whether it's his herald or whether it's some tiny piece of Sanguinius's soul that remains. I do think it is connected somehow to Sanguinius. So there's that.
No, another character that got sharded.
Well, Sanguinius is definitively dead, and again, I would really prefer that he stay dead, but Sanguinor could also just be his herald. Anyway, sorry, this is not about Sanguinius. This episode is not about Sanguinius.
Us going on rants? Who would have guessed?
Right, tangent time, baby. Druzina Quaitian says, we need a show like the A-Team or Jackass, where Cypher leads Ahriman, Typhus, and Karn to attack or sabotage the Imperium. That is hilarious. Oh my god. Now I want Johnny Knoxville to play Cypher.
Here's a question. Does Cypher know about... Do any of these characters actually know Cypher?
Good question. Cypher's he's one of the most mysterious individuals in the entire galaxy. So
we have the Fallen on our list.
Fallen are on the list today, and Cypher is deeply attached to the Fallen. So yeah. Biofoot 7874 says, which warband is just Fishmen? Oh no, they're invading. The Fishmen are coming to us now. No. Well, Fishmen are for people who don't know, Fishmen are kind of a meme for Lorebeards. They just get brought up a lot as a thing. There are, in fact, Fishmen in 40K and fantasy, which is kind of a weird thing.
Don't say that. Don't say it.
All right. I'll leave it. I'll just stop.
They're gonna quote you now and bring it up to Andy and Sotek.
Oh God, don't weaponize that, people, please. All right. Sartakar says, by the way, thank you, Sartakar. Appreciate your support. Asterion, Moloch, and the Minotaur stream someday. Yes, the Minotaurs deserve a stream. They're super cool. Such a cool character, and so many theories about them. He definitely is not a normal Marine. I would love to discuss it. Let's get into it. And that's a great, I'm going to add that to the list right now. I'm going to go over to my list of
I also agree.
Show notes. That's a really good one.
Who's that one guy with he's the Kukaradon's character who's slightly taller than everybody, but all the memes make him like the size of a dreadnought for some reason.
Tiberos the Red Wake.
Yeah, we got to add him to the list too.
All right. I'm now typing in who are the Carcharodons.
So from Hooligan Mulligan, BA's look at Sanguinor like Ash did with Ho-Oh. Yeah, kind of actually.
I'm sorry, I'm
'Cause,
not familiar with. Is this Pokemon?
Ho-Oh is a Pokemon.
Okay,
It's
yeah,
the rainbow bird.
okay. It's okay. So now, okay, that's the meme of Ash going wow like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I do now. I'm familiar. Sorry. 9 foot 78 74 editing clip with malicious content. Too late, Ross. Down you by a foot, my eternal enemy. No, we're not actually enemies, but it's fun to have rivalries. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it.
They are in fact enemies. They have waged war for centuries.
So I'm bringing up the tier list now. Now would be a good time to start talking about the tier list. We're only 15 minutes into the show. Now we can start talking about the tier list. All right, Alexis, I'm going to leave this up to you. Well, actually, before we do that, we should talk about the criteria, shouldn't we?
That's what I was just about to get to.
Yeah, criteria.
So the criteria for this is going to be based on a 1 through 10, like I normally do, where it's relevance to the lore in the most current lore. So we're going with 10th edition and back. How cool they are, like how cool we actually think they are. Some of them are lame, some of them are super cool. I think all of them are going to get out of 10 for cool, except one. And their threat level, like how much of a threat to the Imperium specifically are they in the lore?
Because the Imperium is essentially the protagonist of the setting. But don't worry, guys. We are going to talk about non-imperial things on this channel. Hell, we're doing a tier list for quests right now, and then we've got more plans for stuff you guys have been asking for in the future, like minor Xenos races, things like that.
I just like this comment.
Yeah, would a Tyberos discussion essentially be a 40K Fishman stream? Jesper Carlson asks. I mean, space sharks are kind of like fishmen, so yeah.
I mean, their old name was Space Sharks.
They literally were the space sharks. Yeah. God.
All right.
Wait, did you list all the criteria? You did.
Yes.
Okay.
So relevance to the lore. Mm-hmm. How important are they in the setting?
Mm-hmm.
Cool factor. How cool we personally think they are. This could be their models or their lore or just their artwork. We're basing this strictly on appearance because we're jerks. And then threat level. How much of a threat to the greater universe are they? But mostly how much of a threat to the Imperium they are. Because the Imperium is the protagonist, we have to do things from their perspective.
I don't know if cool is strictly visual. I think cool is also vibes. I think cool is also
vibe is
theme. You know, yep. There's cool in other elements than just how they look. But you know,
I fully agree with you.
This is coming from someone with like many years of not being sure if he was cool. So,
chat, tell him he's cool.
All right. So I guess I feel like we should start with the Alpha Legion, and I'm going to throw this to you. Rate the Alpha Legion on those three.
So relevance to the lore, there are actually several Sister of Battle books right now with the Alpha Legion as the main threat. Granted, in those books, the Alpha Legion did the absolute dumbest garbage in the history of forever, but it worked. So there's a book, I think it was Mark of Faith, or it was one of the most recent Sister of Battle books. I forget which one. My apologies. But in the book, the Alpha Legion actually established a shrine world for the Sisters of Battle to try to corrupt them all to join Chaos. That was their plan. And they made Sisters of Battle by the millions. And then the sisters fought off the Alpha Legion. But then Celestine gave a very special MacGuffin to one of the Alpha Legionnaires because Karn the Betrayer was attacking at the time. And it fell into the category of, is the Alpha Legion actually evil? Or are they misunderstood good guy, bad guys?
See, that's the thing about the Alpha Legion. You never know for sure.
Now, I will say their lore in the Heresy, absolute peak, is probably their best lore is in the Heresy. I love that there is a slight Malkador actually considers them like a slight threat because they're everywhere, and he has a very hard time pinpointing them. So I love the fact that they have Shroud of Night. Thank you. It was Shroud of Night, which is a pretty average book. It's a 5 out of 10 book if you ever needed to hear one. But I love the Alpha Legion. I think they have in terms of relevance, I think they're pretty relevant to the current lore, but they're not really doing too much at the moment.
Well, that has actually changed a little bit recently. In the novels by Mike Brooks, which are, I would say, better than 5 out of 10. Mike Brooks is one of my, I enjoy his books.
Did he write Shroud of Night?
No, well, I don't think so. Maybe.
Well, then his book is better than Shroud of Night.
But he has written some books about a guy called Solomon Akura.
Should have been Solomon Moto.
Somebody
is going to get that reference, and they're a hero and a scholar.
Solomon Akura is a really cool character, and he has recently united several Alpha Legion warbands under his command. He took over a Space Hulk. He's actually conquered an entire star system. He's wielding a spear that is believed to be Altharius's spear. Like he's got a Primarch's weapon.
Okay.
Yeah. Solomon Akura is kind of a badass, and I'm excited to see where he goes from there. So
okay. So relevance, you would say they're what?
Well, I want to continue briefly.
Okay, continue.
If I may. The Alpha Legion for me are extremely relevant to the lore because they are one of the first founding legions. B, they had major roles to play in the heresy, in several encounters throughout 40K. They're not as prominent as, say, World Eaters or Word Bearers or some of those other legions, but they're around, and they play it in what I believe they play is a extremely important role narratively, in that they are, as I said earlier, they're that beautiful jewel of uncertainty. You never know for sure. So as recently as a year ago, I was told directly from Games Workshop that the Alpha Legion is never the same way twice. It is never, you will never see them like establish a pattern,
Okay.
And that uncertainty is actually really great, especially with the way that 40K lore works, having the unreliable narrators and things like that. The Alpha Legion, go ahead.
So hear me out. For relevance, would you say that they're a 5 out of 10 because they're perfectly balanced?
Like all things should be.
Yep.
Hello, Thanos. No. I think their relevance is much higher. I think their relevance is probably an 8 out of 10.
And you think an 8 out of 10? Oh.
Well, again, you never know what you never know what they're going to do. You can never predict what's actually going on. I think the only thing I can say with any degree of certainty, and here's a giant grain of salt, because Games Workshop can always, change their minds about this, but everything that I know and have learned from working with Games Workshop over the years is that the Alpha Legion flirts with the idea that uncertainty is really like the core of their approach to warfare. They want you to not know what they're going to do or who they're working for, or even what goal they're aiming for. And what that means is a lot of people interpret them as being, they're possibly actually loyalists working against chaos. And in my opinion, they're not. They're definitely not loyalists. In my opinion, they are. That is a smokescreen. In my opinion, they sow uncertainty to cover up their own involvement in things, and that includes, like, they flirted with the Cabal back in the Heresy, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll help Chaos win because that's what'll end Chaos in the end." Yeah, sure, buddy, I believe you.
Okay.
Alpha Legion, you cannot trust them. That's another thing that's a big deal about them. They can't be trusted. So yeah, I would say the relevance is very high. What's the next thing we need to
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you thinking?
for relevance?
Yeah, you
8.
said
Yeah.
8.
Yeah, I did say 8.
I think 7. I think more things are more relevant than they are, but they are always relevant.
Yeah,
I will go with 7.
I could see myself going to 7. They don't have any new models. They haven't had like a new army or anything like that in quite a while. The last time they had an army update, I think, was for 30K.
Yeah.
So they are certainly in terms of tabletop representation, they are dropping. You know, because I think that's part of what you judge relevance on too, is like what, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit. It has to be something that is either in the novels or on the tabletop. It has to be being played. Though I will say fans really love the Alpha Legion.
Oh,
So
they're beloved.
I'm going with a 7 for relevance. What about cool?
Super cool. Well, okay, I agree with you that they're cooler in the Heresy. I do agree with that. They are super cool in the Heresy. Solomon Akura and the books of Mike Brooks have definitely made them cooler in my book. So I feel like they're probably a 7 out of 10 on cool.
I would agree with that. Threat level.
Okay. Well, we don't know because we don't know how many of them there are. We don't know what their ultimate goals are. I mean, they're dangerous. I think you can say that they're dangerous. You can't just walk in and be like, oh, it's the Alpha Legion. No, don't worry about it. Right.
Yeah, that's very true.
And
I think
go ahead.
I think we have our first A tier.
That seems legit. So also a thing you got to realize about the Alpha Legions, they do a lot of false flag operations. There's probably stuff that we think was committed by other Chaos Warbands that they did, and we just don't know. But yeah, A tier is reasonable. Oh,
all the times Abaddon has been seen on battlefields, probably the Alpha Legion lying.
Well, you never know. I mean, they're extremely good at misdirection and misinformation and distraction. So that's their whole thing. In fact, one of the cool things in the novel is Solomon Akura has to he has to navigate all the different warbands and their own misdirection, and he's like, guys, just for the love of God. He gets very frustrated with it too, which is funny.
Now, if you guys disagree with anything that we are putting on this tier list for a $10 donation, you can shift things around either up or down. You could shift one legion as you see fit. You could take the Alpha Legion and throw them right out to D tier if you don't like them. Or if we put one of your favorites at the bottom, like Sons of Malice, and you're just like, nope, no. You could pay $10 with a donation and put it right at S tier if you really want.
Yes, those are things that you can absolutely do. This is why we love doing it with you guys, because last time we did a tier list was Power Armor, and our beloved Mark 6 got dropped all the way down to D tier. It was so painful. Oh, I'm still experiencing like an ache over that. It's a week later, same. And I'm like, God damn it.
Before we move on to arguably one of my favorites, let's get to some super chats.
Good idea. Oh, Skatari Boy. Thank you very much, Skatari Boy. Tyberos gets bigger every time someone depicts or states him as being bigger than he canonically is.
So, have you ever, there's a custodian book talking about like sizes where an American wrote it and they didn't know the metric system. And there is a single custodian that is 3 meters tall.
Wow. That's big.
That is a huge custodian.
It's
not a dreadnought. It's just a dude.
We need that Rick James, that's a huge bitch. Good Lord. Brock 6000. The Codex AST seemed to reluctantly force the loyal legions to split into small chapters. So are the traitor legions by comparison more intact? Thanks.
That depends. Some of them, yes. Some of them keep the same warband name, but are several thousand warbands at this point. The Night Lords are a good example of this, where if their higher-ups do call for them, they will regather. Or if a Primarch calls for his sons, they will regather, except if it's Mortarion. Then, yeah, they kind of don't like him. But for the most part, they will regather into their legion size. but they're probably not the same size as the old legions. Some exceed the old legions, but again, a warband is mostly just a bunch of different groups all using like a sticker that says, "I am in the Black Legion."
So the answer to this is complicated, but the short version is that the traitor legions, their structure and organization shattered after the Siege of Terra, after the defeat of Horus. Most legions broke up into small war bands and scattered. The Black Legion is the one that is the most cohesive of these, which was formed from the Sons of Horus. But it is there is no force. None of the traitor legions remain intact the way they used to be. They are all they're all changed. They're all different. Many of them are smaller or again scattered amongst many different war bands. There's 50 war bands that call themselves the Death Guard. There's 150 that call themselves the Emperor's Children. And I'm just pulling numbers out of thin air because I don't really know, but there's got to be at least that many, right? And with the one that surprisingly, the one that might have remained whole the most was the Alpha Legion, and we just don't know.
Yeah,
we just don't know for sure. Hooligan Mulligan says, "You're wrong. My Primarch's deck has no bad cards."
He got the reference. The Solomon Moto is a Yu-Gi-Oh reference.
I use Dark Magician Girl. Ricky Chapman, 3377. Welcome, Ricky Chapman. Good to see you back. Mandatory reminder of a fan with too much time. Star Wars versus Warhammer series needs to be reacted to. Thank you. I have noted it. It has been noted. We appreciate you, Ricky Chapman. Skitari Boy. Doesn't Vashtor have his own warband like Bellicor? He does.
He does, but there's very, very, very little written about him, so I didn't want to include him just yet. I'm waiting for Vashtor to get his own book before I include him in a tier list. Because right now, we know that he fought the Shadow Legion, which is Bellicor's Legion, and his guys were strong enough to go toe-to-toe with what was on the Rock. But we don't know any more details. We have more details about the Shadow Legion. That's why I wanted to add them here than we do about Vashtor's Legion.
They're called the Cult of the Arcaphane is the name of his warband. So Guitar Boy, thanks for pointing that out. Good catch. But like Alexis says, there's a reason why they're not on the list yet. And if they were, go ahead.
We're still holding hope that he gets the Dark Mechanicus.
That would be really cool. And if they were on this list, they'd probably be pretty low just because there's just not much about them. So there's that. If you were hoping to see them, I'm sorry. But they will be around later when we have more lore about them.
Yep.
Ricky Chapman, he's back. To quote a cultist sorceress, "You're the Alpha Legion. Even if you raided for supplies, the Inquisition is going to spend years trying to figure out what the hidden plot is, even if there is none." Yes, that's from Mike Brooks's novel, The Cultist Sorceress, because she talks about that, like there is in fact two Inquisitors who are battling each other while trying to find the Alpha Legion because they can't quite figure out what the hidden plan is, even when there isn't one. It's so good.
This is a funny comment here. Which Legion has Exodia? The Thousand Suns.
Is that a Yu-Gi-Oh reference?
Yes, it is.
And
Armin would be the one summoning it.
I know very little about Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm so sorry. I'm old, y'all.
Gigantic time. I could go on a 4-hour stream of just talking about Yu-Gi-Oh. I love Yu-Gi-Oh. I love the card game. I know how garbage it is now. I love Genesis format. I love all of the different formats. I wish they kept Highlander format. That was a good format, but they got rid of it. Anyway.
Do you have the arm deck thing?
The dual disc?
Do you have the dual disc?
I have 2 of them.
Oh my God. All right, so let's talk about the Black Legion. Alexis, who is the Black Legion?
The Black Legion is the remnants of the Sons of Horus, as well as the remnants of several dozen different chapters and the remnants of like the loyalist traitors. I'm saying loyalist traitors, the ones that fell from their legions, that fled as well. They're the remnants of different legions that have been shattered, and all drawn to Abaddon himself. His charisma pulled together the Black Legion, and they started the Long War. This war is to do what his father couldn't. He's going to cripple or destroy the Imperium. The Black Legion is thousands of warbands in a trench coat.
And Abaddon, he wants to kill the Emperor because the Emperor killed Horus, and that is just unacceptable to him. There are some sources that say that Abaddon looked into the Astronomicon for a very, very long time, and it turned his eyes gold, which I think is that's a fun little.
That is in Talon of Horus by Aaron Densky Bowden.
I think that's super cool.
Fantastic book, by the way.
And Abaddon is genuinely remorseful about having to kill Sigismund.
Yeah, he is.
Which is also really cool. He's a complex dude.
I do love that in one of the heresy novels. I think it was it's the one where Rogel Dorn beats the hell out of Fulgrim, Demon Fulgrim. I can't remember exactly which one it was. Maybe it was the Titan one. But anyway, I remember Abaddon just standing there squaring up with Nathaniel Garrow and Sigismund, and Dorn was walking towards him. And he's just like, any one of you I could take in a 1v1, but I'm going to leave. Okay, see you later.
Okay, Abaddon is just that. He thinks he's that good. And he did technically kill Sigismund, which is a hell of a feat because Sigismund was just a super badass. We will talk about heresy first captains at some point, and we will talk about the absolute apex of badassness that is Sigismund, Sevatar, Raldoron, Corswain. I mean, Garrow's pretty good. He's not actually in that top tier, but he's pretty good.
Oh yeah, he wasn't the first captain. That's Typhus.
No, yeah. Typhus is not a top tier duelist as well. So
no, he isn't. He is not even close.
But Sevatar surprisingly is.
Yes.
Sevatar is
he is.
Ridiculous badass. All right. Anyway, so we're talking about the Black Legion. So they are the most powerful force of unified Chaos Space Marines that exists.
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
No.
For relevance, they are the most iconic enemy. They are the Ultramarines of Chaos Space Marines.
And they also achieved a massive goal by splitting the galaxy in half after the end of the 13th Black Crusade. They are the ones who caused the Great Rift, the Cicatrix Maledictum. The Era Indomitus began because of Abaddon and the Black Legion. So their relevance is extremely high.
Yeah, I have to give them a 10 out of 10 for relevance.
So Abaddon is the leader. He is the former first captain of the Sons of Horus, the favored son of Horus himself. He wields Horus's own power claw, or lightning claw, I should say, the War Master's Talon, and he wields a demon sword called Draknian.
Who is a demon so powerful the Emperor couldn't kill it.
Abaddon is he styles himself as the War Master of Chaos, which is the title that Horus had. And although Abaddon and his relationship with the Chaos Gods is kind of complex, he does not want to bow to them, but they give him power, but he doesn't want them to control him. Is what he wants.
Even though they've bailed him out multiple times.
So the main thing about the Black Legion is they're constantly absorbing new warbands or corrupted loyalists or renegades that flee to their banner. So they have swollen in size considerably. The Black Legion is we don't know their numbers, but they are the largest, most effective, or largest and most I forgot, I lost the word. Anyway, they're the biggest one.
Yeah.
Mornington Crescent says, as the only one keeping him in line, I title Hawk as the War Master of Sotek. That's good. Hawk does do a lot for us. He does a lot for us. He does a lot for Sotek. Big thank you to Hawk. In fact, he made this tier list for us. So everybody, give Hawk a hand, because what a hell of a dude he is.
So where are you putting them on scale of relevance?
I mean, 10 out of 10 seems about right. His
Yeah.
goal is to break open the Imperial Palace and kill the Emperor. And the recent lore has kind of got him balancing all the different influences of the Chaos Gods, preventing any single entity from dominating his legion. He's also featured prominently in the ongoing narrative in the Arcs of Omen. So
Yep.
I think 10 out of 10 for relevancy.
Yep.
Unquestionably.
Cool factor.
All right. So personally, Ross, I've never thought the Black Legion was that cool.
Okay, good. I'm not the only one. I think they look okay, but it's just black and gold. Like it's a cool color scheme, but I feel like there are cooler color schemes on this list. As for like miniatures, the Black Legion surprisingly has nothing unique except Abaddon. That's it. So I give them kind of like, because Chaos Space Marines are cool, I give them a 6 out of 10.
Here's the thing. Chaos miniatures have not really appealed to me until recently. The new Huron Blackheart model, they look great. Yeah. The Red Corsairs look great. The new Iron Warriors guy looks amazing. So I have a feeling that they will be coming out with some really, really good models for these guys. At the moment, I'm kind of more of a 4 out of 10.
Okay, no, I'm with you there. That balances out to a 5 out of 10. Okay, so we got a 10 out of 10 for relevance, a 5 out of 10 for cool, threat level.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
They are the biggest threat of all of these guys.
Yes.
Unquestionably.
Yes. I think they have to, even though it's a weird scoring, I think it has to be an S tier.
I'm going to go with that for now.
Or high A tier.
I'll go with S for now. We will see where it shakes out at the end, but at the moment they are currently S tier because you can't beat the Great Rift. I mean, it's just they literally turn the entire galaxy on its head.
I still love the Orcs version of that story where it's Gork threw a rock at Mork and split all of everything, and that's what made Gork grin, and that's why it's called the Gork's Grin.
Orcs, man.
Orcs are the best.
All right. So here's one you may not be super familiar with: the Blood Gorgons.
This is from the Badab War, isn't it? No, not Badab. This is from oh my god, I know the iconography. Why do I know it?
So these guys were a loyalist chapter. They were founded in the Cursed Founding, the 21st Founding, which is one of the largest chapter foundings. And they are different because they're not exactly corrupted per se, but rather they're cultists who are bound together by an alien ritual. Yeah, it gets weird. They have this thing called the blood bonding ritual. It's a dark ceremony. It creates a permanent psychic and biological link between pairs of warriors. And their warlord is a guy called Korad Gadim. And he discovered this ritual while experimenting with demonology and used it to forge unprecedented cohesion amongst his chapter. And each bonded pair. Go ahead.
Is this a reference to the gay soldiers of Athens?
The Sacred Band of Thebes?
Yeah.
Possibly. But
that is hilarious.
If any of you guys are interested, the Sacred Band of Thebes is a really interesting piece of history, especially military history, and they were badasses in the ancient world. They kicked a lot of butt. Anyway, so they have these bonded pairs, and they instinctively understand each other's intentions through the ritual. So they fight in perfect synchronization. They feel each other's wounds. Kind of like, if you're familiar with G.I. Joe from the 80s, it's like Tomax and Zaymot, the Cobra twins. I love it when I can bring up a reference to 80s cartoons. And the warriors refuse to abandon their bonded brothers, this is also a thing from the Sacred Band. So the Blood Gorgons turn traitor They fled into the Eye of Terror. They established stronghold on board a space hulk called the Cauldron, and they
steal it from the the Blood Angels.
The Cauldron.
Yeah,
I don't think
that because it's blood.
Oh, that they're not blood. They might be Blood Angel successors. I don't know. I don't think so though. So the Cauldron is this big space hulk, and each part of the space hulk had a different warlord in charge of it. And Gatum, he reunited all these different warlords under his own leadership and used the blood bonding ritual on them. So, yeah.
I'm sorry. I am so stupid. I have to say this now. This is what just went through my head. Gatum.
I mean, that's his name. I didn't write it. Korad Gatum. So that
is a very strange chapter or legion warband.
Yeah, it gets better. There's only 100 of them. And they're subdivided into squads of 6. So 3 bonded pairs per squad.
Wait, is this might be a Slanesh worshipping, because the flesh shapers.
It's supposedly they're undivided. They've declared themselves servants of chaos undivided. And they have allies, which is really neat. They have this group of allies called the Kyojin Witches, powerful sorcerers who are responsible for healing the wounded, extracting gene seed from the fallen, and maintaining the dark rituals of mutation.
Yeah, that's flesh shapers.
I mean, you could say that if you want. I don't know if it's true.
Yeah. Okay, these guys got a lot cooler.
The Blood Gorgons do not. They see sorcery as dangerous and fickle, so they keep the witches kind of at arm's length, except for the necessary tasks that they perform. And the Blood Gorgons prefer to they emphasize martial discipline, tactical coherence, and organizational efficiency. And usually this makes other Chaos Warbands go, wow, you guys are really organized. you guys are really, you have a handle on tactics and strategy that most warbands don't.
They keep the girls away. And they're a bunch of guys.
Listen, I didn't write this. I'm not. You can read the subtext into it if you want.
I am 1000% reading the subtext.
There are some authors who use subtext, and they're all cowards.
Okay.
So the Blood Gorgons, where are we thinking the Blood Gorgons should go on this list?
Relevance, probably none.
Their relevance is low. There's only 100 of them.
Yeah.
That also means their threat is low.
Yes, but they're really cool.
They are super cool. I think B tier.
B, I agree. They're going in B tier for being gay because we don't have a G tier, so B for bisexual.
So this is probably the first time you've heard about them.
Yes, and I absolutely love them. I love them. 10 out of 10 for cool factor. They are amazing.
Oh, we've got a super chat. The Exiled One 8002 says Black Legion to D tier. Alfarius approves. Well, Alexis, is that correct? You got the right number? Yep. Okay. Down it goes. Black Legion's now a D tier. Womp womp.
Also, I think it's very unfair that and even to myself, I am contradicting myself because I am a massive hypocrite. I think that the Black Legion is not the Ultramarines of Chaos Space Marines because the Ultramarines have cool, unique units, and the Black Legion doesn't.
Super Orlock, thank you, Super Orlock, for supporting us. We appreciate you. He says, I wish Abaddon was cool, but then I remember how Creed got a cheap shot on him. So yeah, Creed did get a cheap shot on Abaddon. Abaddon just kind of isn't cool. He needs to be cooler. And there's like that book we were talking about earlier where his eyes turn gold.
Read Aaron Densky-Bowden's books. He makes them super, super cool.
And
I love them.
And just like everything else, these guys are way cooler in the heresy. B for boy loves is Jesper Carlson. I mean,
I am right there with you.
Like I said, man, it's at least they're doing it like respectfully in a cool way, like rather than making it them the butt of the joke, I guess. So
yeah.
So there's
I
that.
think we have a few more super chats that way.
Did we miss any more?
Doesn't the Bastro have his own warband? No, that was it. Okay.
Yeah, I think we covered it.
Yep.
All right, so let's talk about the Lorebeards' own cackling death. So
this one's all you.
Well, why don't you talk about the stream where we created them?
So chat created this crazy combination that is extremely unique, and we made sure to get the skull correct because that is a hyena skull.
It's a raccoon skull.
It's a raccoon skull. Yes. It was a really fun stream. You guys should definitely check it out. I forget who we pit as their enemies though.
Oh, the Gorgons talons and the Tau.
Oh, right, yeah. And the Tau. Yeah, they don't like the Tau.
So the cackling death is one that we came up with in a let's build chaos warband stream from a couple of weeks ago. These guys are really cool, and the lore seekers community, that's you guys, came up with a lot of the really cool aspects of this warband. If you want to be part of the lore seekers community, please drop by and join our Discord. We have a really cool Discord for Lorebeards with a lot of active people discussing a lot of really great topics. Occasionally, people like Alexis and I will drop in and engage. There's a guy, Ricardo Andre, who goes by Vespa on the forums, and he and I are in there, like we're actually having a debate over some things, which is pretty cool. So the cackling death, this is a renegade chapter of Space Wolves, actually, that they felt that the burning of Prospero was wrong, and they decided in their during the burning of Prospero, they absconded from the planet. They were sucked away by the localized warp storm that takes place at the very end of that battle, and they ended up lost in the galaxy. And they turned to chaos because their chapter master found this special demon weapon called a quill sword, and the quill sword it resembles a feather, and anyone that is killed that is killed by the quill sword, their blood transforms into ink, which is kind of awesome. They accept anyone and all. Like, so they actually they took over a Space Hulk called the, what is the name of the Space Hulk? The Bone Zone. The Bone Zone. No, there's a name for it. I forget.
It was the Bone Zone.
Is it the Bone Zone? Yeah. So they took over Space Hulk. They called it the Bone Zone, and they found it's merged. The Space Hulk is merged with a Kroot war sphere. So they ended up absorbing a Kroot warband into their ranks and forcibly fed these Kroot corrupted flesh to turn them into to make them chaos allies. And they roam around with Narlocks and Kroot hounds as companions. They generally worship Tzeentch. Their main belief is that power demands sacrifice. And their Canis Helix, which is the gene seed of the Space Wolves that makes them kind of wolf-like, has been mutated so that the cackling death now more resemble hyenas than wolves. And their battle cry is "Be prepared," along with haunting laughter.
Yep. So
the Space Hulk. The Space Hulk is called the Eternal Laughter. I just found it.
Yep. So relevance to the lore. It's relevant to us.
Oh, a few more things that are cool about the cackling death, because they don't have official lore. We're the only ones who are going to promote them, so let's promote them.
Yep, go for it.
They have they use power flails because they have beastmen that are like gnolls from D&D. They have hyena thunderwolves as their bestial companions, and they have hell brutes that ride on giant discs of Tzeentch that allow them to fly, which is rad. They are slightly over strength for a Chaos Warband. They have many auxiliaries, including the Chaos Kroot, a Renegade Astra Militarum unit of combat engineers, and a Chaos Knight Rampager are their allies. They took in several members of the Gorgons Talons Space Marine chapter, which is the Lore Seeker Space Marine chapter that we built about a month ago.
The Loyalist Space Marine chapter.
And the Gorgons Talons and the Tau are the two enemies of the Cackling Death. Their special characters include Chaos Lord Zuvasin, who is the wielder of the Quill Blade, and the Hellbrute Hawker the Risen Foot, who is the anti-Bjorn. He's
why
a
he's
dark
the
mirror of
Risen
Bjorn.
Foot.
Yes. And they have a strike cruiser called the Boneyard. Oh, let's not forget that they see extremely well in the dark, but are sensitive to light. And they have very strange voices. Their laughter is haunting. Like you can hear it at a distance. You shouldn't be able to hear it. It causes fear when you hear the laughter of the Cackling Death. These are mutations that have been caused in them by their exposure to the warp. And their symbol is a smiling raccoon skull. So there they are. Please, Alexis, how would you rate them?
So relevance to the lore, they're relevant to our 40K verse. Okay.
Extremely relevant. Yes, very relevant for us specifically.
Yes, and that counts for something. That gives them at least a 5 out of 10.
Agreed.
For cool factor, of course they're fucking cool. Like, they're really, really, really cool.
Agreed.
Like, a blade that when it cuts you drinks your blood and turns it to ink.
That's rad.
That's awesome. And their threat level isn't that high though.
Agreed. They're only slightly over strength. I think they're probably A tier.
I would say bottom of A tier.
There is a question from Skatari Boy. He wanted to know how much it is to move the places.
To move stuff around, we tried it last week at a little bit of a higher price. It didn't work out too well. So we're sticking to our lower prices because, well, 40K and everything. So if you guys want to switch around legions or whatever, you could pick one legion and switch it to any spot on this tier list for $10 donation. And it goes a long way to helping both of us out. It keeps us paid. It bought me a brand new tattoo that is still itchy, but it should be fine next week.
Yeah, she's right. Super chats is how you guys support the channel and keep us, allow us to keep doing this for you, to create content for you guys because we enjoy it. And it directly impacts the hosts. Hawk points out, he says, I'm fairly certain that's actually a hyena skull. Okay. And the raccoon thing is just a comment from Alexis that all the wolf skulls on the models are actually raccoons.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because a lot of the times when artists, especially, I love pointing it out on tattoos too, because they'll never see their tattoo the same way again. All like tattoos that you see online of like a wolf skull typically is a raccoon, and it's super funny. We do have a few super chats, right?
Do we?
We have one.
Okay, let's read it. Gary Garionson, welcome, sir. Thank you for supporting us. Any plan for a Peter Fehivari or Dark Coil stream? Alexis, who are those people?
I am not sure right now. I am bad with names. I nickname all of my friends for a reason.
Yeah, sorry, Gary Garionson. I don't know who those people are. So
if you could just shoot us a message to explain them, then we might add them because we'll just have to read up on them.
You know, when I turned 50, it was like a switch flipped, and all of a sudden I was completely out of touch. I just realized it. I was just looking around. I was like, oh my God, I don't have my finger on the pulse anymore. I don't know what people are talking about.
Oh God, what's my excuse?
All right. So now we're about to talk about the Crimson Slaughter. Do you know anything about the Crimson Slaughter?
So the Crimson Slaughterers are really cool because they're a coronate warband that uses psychers. We don't know much about their psychers in the lore, but they have a psyker depicted in their artwork, which I think is really fun. The Crimson Slaughterers were the 6th and 7th edition box set that fought the Dark Angels on the
Dark Vengeance.
Dark Vengeance, yep.
Dark Vengeance was the box set.
And since then, that's kind of all they did. They're really cool because they're a mostly coronate warband that uses psychers.
Brock 6000 says 6'7", my fellow youths. Greetings, fellow kids. All right. So the Crimson Slaughter, yeah, they I want to go back to the Blood Gorgons a little bit when we get done with this, just to be clear. But the
I do think that some of their lore is cool. This is where we get the lore for the what Khorne does with Psykers, where he uses Psykers because Khorne hates them, but he needs them in order to summon his demons. So what he does is he has a Psyker in the Warband, and then they typically just slaughter them, which starts the what is it called? It's the blood tithe, or I think it's the blood tithe, which then allows demons of Khorne to be summoned as long as the slaughter continues.
So yeah, the Crimson Slaughters were originally a group called the Crimson Sabers, which was a zealous loyalist chapter known for ruthless efficiency and fastidious adherence to the Codex Astartes. And you always know it starts out bad when they're like, oh yes, we are the most loyal. You know it's going to go bad. So the Crimson Sabers, they fell victim to illusions created by demons that every citizen on this world called Numidia had fallen to chaos worship. So believing these illusions to be true, the Crimson Sabers massacred the entire planetary population. And when the veil lifted, they realized with horror that they had slaughtered imperial citizens who were innocently celebrating an Adeptus Ministorum approved All Saints Day.
Got him.
Oh, God. The Inquisition found no evidence of widespread chaos cults, just planet-wide genocide. Oh, oof, oof. You feel that one, don't you? You just feel it. Just oof. Oh, damn. So as either a reward or a curse for massacring all of these people, Khorne has caused the chaos, the Crimson Slaughter, to be haunted by the voices of those that they killed. The constant screaming drove them to madness. And only through further slaughter can they silence the voices, which creates a vicious cycle.
They got the butcher's nails without getting the butcher's nails.
They got pretty screwed. I think that's fair to say. So they went. Comment. They ruined Thanksgiving dinner. Yeah, that's just, oh my God. The Crimson Slaughter, the Crimson Sabers at this point still, they go to the sister planet of Numidia, which is Demetra, and they look for, try to find out what's going on, and also maybe silence these horrible screaming voices. And that's when the Imperium declared them excommunicate traitoris. Chapter Master Sevastus Cranon then said, okay, guys, we're getting the hell out of here. And they went to the Eye of Terror, which is where you go when you're a Chaos Warband, either there or the Maelstrom. Like, those are the two big ones.
Just you start hearing voices, you massacre an entire planet. Oopsie daisy, our bad. They must have ran out of their oopsie daisies.
So Cranon became known as Cranon the Relentless, and the Crimson Sabers became known as the Crimson Slaughter. They are, it is said by some sources that they are haunted, like literally haunted, in that the skies bleed when they appear. Walls melt, ghosts and apparitions emerge from shadows, and people are assailed with horrific visions. And this supernatural phenomenon seems to follow them around.
But don't forget, everyone, Khorne doesn't use magic.
Well, it's one of those things. It's like those are usually like more guidelines than rules.
Yeah, I mean, the Chaos Gods can make just full rules and just be like, you have to follow them, not us.
That is definitely a thing. The Crimson Slaughter captured a fallen dark angel, named Turiel, and learned a bunch of dark angel secrets, and they actually learned the secret. They learned about the Fallen.
That closely guarded secret that everyone seems to know.
They learned this secret, and this enraged their Cranon, because he's like, you guys did this, and we literally, we were tricked. What the hell? He felt it was massively unfair that this was that the Dark Angels had gotten away with this for so long. So they lured the Dark Angels into.
It was everyone, though.
Using the secrets they learned from Turiel, they lured Dark Angels into numerous traps. Killed the 5th Company captain, which was replaced by Lazarus. Lazarus is the Primaris Dark Angel character, the new Dark Angel character, right?
Yep. There was a whole trial of him becoming a Primaris and actually joining the Inner Circle, and they're very iffy about him.
Yeah. And they also the Crimson Slaughter then also ransacked Dark Angel's armories for gene seed and equipment. So they stole a bunch of stuff from the Dark Angels too.
We stole your stuff again.
At least one source, let me just double check this really quick, because wow. Yeah, there is a source that says that Cranon realized that his chief librarian had been replaced by a greater demon of Tzeentch.
As you know, these things just happen.
A Lord of Change called Zax Lantar, who had been manipulating the Warband, and Cranon swore to destroy the demon. Man, this is a very angry chapter master. Swore to destroy the demon for its deceptions. They swore fealty to Abaddon and served as a vanguard in the 13th Black Crusade. There's another warband on here that's also essentially part of the Black Legion, but we're keeping it separate because they have their own lore and history. And they traded their imprisoned former loyalist brothers. They had some apparently who didn't want to turn to chaos, and they kept them in prisoners, and then they traded them to Fabius Bile in exchange for clone vats and technology to create new marines from cultists and fanatics. And this allowed them to rebuild back up to their full chapter strength. So they're at least 1,000 strong.
Okay.
We don't know what happened to Cranon the Relentless. Dark Angel's librarian Balthazar had a prophetic vision of killing him, but whether or not this has occurred is unclear.
I really thought about it.
They did get some. There's a lot of community discussions about them and debates about whether they're actually Khorne or they're actually undivided, because you can make arguments for both.
From what I understand, is they're devoted to Khorne, but Tzeentch is there messing with them.
So when they on Eumidia, there's references that there was a Khornate cult called the B11 that started the whole thing with the illusions.
B11.
Yeah, Gesundheit. So yeah, the true nature of that cult is debated. The cult of B11. Did they deliberately orchestrate events, or was that someone larger and greater than them? They
are 88% devoted to Khorne.
According to the lore, Khorne himself intervened, supposedly, or at least people believe that, or at least the B11 believe that. And the massacre, in that case, the massacre may not have been incorrect. Which that's kind of wild. Cranon was looking for a thing called the Hellfire Stone, which he believed would end the haunting. And it turned out that the stone would actually summon demons and strengthen the curse rather than removing it. Oh,
dang it.
Son of a.
If he didn't run out of his tactical oopsie daisies, he's allowed 2. These things wouldn't have happened.
At least some people believe that it was actually multiple chaos gods that made these guys go rogue. Maybe not just Khorne, maybe it was Khorne and someone else. But Cranon. Right. Oh, sorry.
So, do we have enough lore to go on about them, or are we ready to give them a tier?
There's more lore, but this is not an episode about the Crimson Slaughter. So
we are going to do episodes on a few of these smaller warbands just grouped together for the future. And we're definitely putting the Crimson Slaughterers on there, because they are just super cool.
Oh, and we Where would you put the Crimson Slaughter in terms of relevance, threat, and coolness?
So relevance, they were really relevant, and they are still relevant with the Black Legion.
They were part of a big box set. Not that 10 years ago. 10 years ago, they were part of a big box set.
But that box set was used for 2 editions because that's how cheap GW was back in the day.
Yeah, it was 6th and 7th, right?
Yep. So I think their relevance is about a 5 out of 10. They were relevant back then, not so much anymore. They were really, really, really cool concept, and I love the idea of a Tzeentch Khorne aligned Chaos Marine army. I'm going to go with it's Tzeentch Khorne, whichever one is in charge is whatever. But I think that's cool. That's like at least a 7 out of 10. Threat level, they're a chapter. Like, the Dark Angels soundly beat their asses every single time they met. So I'd put them in B tier, like low B tier.
So they did lead the Dark Angels into numerous traps, and they did discover the actual secret. It's not like these guys are bumbling idiots. I would put them at the bottom of A.
Bottom of A. Are you putting them over the Boy Lovers?
You mean the Blood Gorgons?
Yes.
They have a full chapter, so they're more dangerous. They were part of a box set, so they're more relevant.
All right, that's fair. Yeah, bottom of A. Bottom of A.
That's where I think they go.
Now we did get a.
You could argue top of B.
I mean, they probably would top a B. Anyway.
Whoa! What is going on, Alexis?
I have no idea.
Slanesh, that tattoo is corrupting you.
It really is. We do have a super chat.
Dowie Forever. Thank you, Dowie Forever. Really appreciate you. Iron Within, Iron Without, S Tier Legion, Hashut approved. Okay, Hashut has nothing to do with Iron Warriors, but I like where you're coming from. And
Iron Within, Iron Without, Iron Shake It All About.
You know what, Dowie? You get it. Iron Warriors are now S Tier. We haven't even started talking about them, but I guess we'll have to do that next because that makes a lot of sense.
Alexis took the silly juice today. I'm trying not to. Okay, I am a professional. I am a professional.
Only professionals say that they are a professional multiple times in a row. That's how that works.
I want to see somebody clip all of the times that I've had to say that throughout this. And just give me a collage of me being stupid.
There's going to be clips of both of us.
Yes.
I said something stupid in our first episode. I couldn't believe. I was like, oh my God, what did I say?
Well, now I want to know. What did you say?
Thankfully, no one's. I'm going to keep mum about that. Hopefully it'll be forgotten.
I was hoping to get it for you, chat. I was hoping.
No, I'm not gonna fall into that trap. Oh my God. Okay, so Iron Warriors. Oh, go ahead.
Are we just going to talk about the Iron Warriors?
I mean, he gave us a bunch of money. I feel like we should.
Yes, the Iron Warriors are so fucking cool. Like, the Iron Warriors are the reason that they lasted so long in the Siege of Terra. Like, without them, they would have lost almost immediately. So, I really like the Iron Warriors. I also love Perturabo. And I don't like his newer lore where he became a demon prince, where his older lore in the Heresy showed him rejecting chaos. And I kind of like the idea that he's like on the fence of rejecting chaos. It would have been cool if he didn't ascend to demon princehood, or if he ascended and then somehow just was like, no, I'm better than this, and seceded chaos or some garbage like that. Whatever. He's a big robot man. But there is a scene in the Siege of Terra where Abaddon talks to Perturabo. And Abaddon says, this isn't your war. This is the war of gods and monsters. And he's just like, you're right. This isn't how I wanted to do this. And it's when he quits the Siege of Terra. And it's such a cool scene. And I absolutely love it. Also, they have one of the coolest paint schemes in all of Warhammer. The hazard stripes that show you that they are dangerous. They have one of the coolest Terminator units. The ones with the missiles on the back that were so cool that Gilliman's like, ha, stolen.
The tyrants, yeah.
Yeah, the
Iron
Tyrant Siege Terminators.
That's right. Yeah.
They literally carried the entire heresy. Oh, also, did we forget World Eaters on this list?
I swear we were supposed to have them. I swear we were.
Huh. Can we
I
just
don't know what
add
happened.
one and just write it in?
Let me see. There might be a way to do it.
Oh,
Let's see here.
You could do this. I believe in you.
Add additional images.
It's going to make you choose a file in junk.
Okay. Let me take this down for a minute and see if I can.
Yep.
See if I can work on it. Meanwhile, talk about the Iron Warriors, if you would.
So the Iron Warriors have often been it is one of my buddy's favorite legions. His name is Lee. He's a really cool guy. I met him in America. Turned out he was Icelandic. Met him in Canada. Then I met him here in Iceland. Apparently, I met him a lot. And I hang out with him regularly. I absolutely love the guy. He plays Iron Warriors. And he plays it super fun. Has the Tyrant Siege, the heavy weapons. Usually brings fortifications because he really wants that feel of the Iron Warriors breaking through lines. And them during the Siege of Terra was some of the coolest writing ever. They tricked Lion into having Lion give all of these like super devastating siege weapons that they then used on Terra, because at the time the Iron Warriors, it wasn't known that they were traitor just yet. So they are so cool. In 40K, they don't really do too much, as far as I know. They did the Iron Cage incident, which is not in 40K, and then I don't know too much about their newer lore. I haven't read too much up on them. I know that they're still a major threat, and they're going to be a major threat going forward because they're getting a whole bunch of new units. We're getting a new Hellbrute. We're getting a new Terminator dude. We're getting a new what are they called? The crabby guys. Oh my god. Not soul takers. They are defilers. Thank you. Defilers.
Okay. World Eaters are now on the list.
There are 2 of them.
I know I screwed up, but we'll just pick one.
Okay. They're getting new obliterators, which is also really cool. And the mutilators, thank you.
Yeah, mutilators.
Chad is right there with me. I love the Iron Warriors. I think they always have a place in my heart. And they also use demons as batteries, which is just cool.
We're not gonna talk about there's certain things we're not gonna talk about.
Oh yeah, I'm skipping right over that. That is not going to be brought up. But they did a lot of cool stuff in the lore that I absolutely love. It's one of the most notorious things they did also, but we're going to skip over that. So in terms of relevance, I am putting them as an 8 out of 10 right now because we know they're about to be way more relevant.
So recent lore has them positioned at the center of a lot of chaos plots because they're connected to Vashtor the Archithane.
Oh, yeah, they are.
They have a new warsmith. It's rumored that Perturabo is going to leave Medrengard and may have emerged from isolation and return. There, a lot of people in the chat are saying Perturabo is the next one to come, which
I hope so.
Well, I like Perturabo, but I feel like we need more loyalists as well. But I don't know. There's a whole conversation to be had about Primarchs returning and whether or not that's a good thing. And it's certainly good for the Games Workshop's bottom line. Like,
yeah, it's good for money.
They sell a lot of money. They make a lot of money off those Primarchs. So
they sell a lot of money.
They sell a lot of miniatures with the Primarchs. So the new Warsmith guy, the one that was released on Warhammer or shown on Warhammer Community, he has earned Perturabo's trust, which is extremely rare distinction. I don't know. I want to talk about the Primarchs a lot because I love the Primarchs, and Angron he's like famously didn't like his Legion very much. Perturabo, same, did not like his Legion very much.
Yeah.
He was like, you guys could just die. I don't really care. And so for this guy, for this new Warsmith to be like, no, I've earned his trust. That's huge. That's enormous. That is a massive velvet.
Also, that miniature can be used in both 40K and Heresy. Like, that's really cool. It's a character for both settings because it is just a Warsmith and Terminator armor for Heresy. But for 40K, it's a named character, which is super cool. Which means the Iron Warriors now have the same amount of characters as AdMech, named characters. I just love bringing up that AdMech only have one named character, even though they have like 400 in the lore.
The Iron Warriors, their thing is their doctrine is siege warfare and cold, calculated brutality. They grind down their enemies through technological superiority and merciless attrition. And when I say merciless attrition, Alexis was talking about the Siege of Terra. During the Siege of Terra, Perturabo dropped artillery on his own men and the word bearers because that was the most effective way to get rid of the defenders. And it's a very funny moment in the books because the word bearers are like, "What are you doing?" And Perturabo's like, just have faith." Lol.
Yeah.
It's so bad. I was just like, "Oh, damn, dude. You just,
That was such a good moment. Just have faith.
Have faith, word bearer. Oh, it's awful. Anyway, these guys are very relevant to the lore.
Yep.
And relevant on the tabletop. I'd argue they're, almost Black Legion level because they are very popular.
They are one of the most popular legions. I honestly, even without giving them an S tier, like from the chat, I think that I would put them at top of A. Yeah. But chat decided S tier, and I'm with you.
So, fun fact, the Iron Cage incident is where Perturabo trapped the Imperial Fists during the heresy. It wasn't some kind of random revenge. He created a fortress specifically designed as bait, the Eternal Fortress. It had 20 square miles of bunkers, towers, minefields, trenches, tank traps, the whole, it just had everything. And it was intended because the Iron Warriors hate the Imperial Fists. There's a rivalry between these two groups. And it was... the Imperial Fists got sacrificed to the Dark Gods. All their prisoners that they took, they sacrificed them. And that's what elevated Perturabo to Demon Princehood, which is, again, Alexis says that is kind of unusual and weird because he didn't seem like he was really into it earlier, but it is what happened. He survived numerous assassination attempts. He's carrying around Ferrus Manus's Warhammer Forgebreaker.
Yep.
Which is pretty fun.
Which used to be a giant wrench.
Well, no, Forgebreaker was okay. You're right. It might have been a giant wrench. I don't know.
Yeah, and one of the earliest pieces of artwork, it was just a giant pipe wrench, and it was really funny.
Huh.
Yeah, and then they changed it to a thunderhammer. And I was like, oh, that's lame. I wanted him to have a giant pipe wrench.
So Horus gave Perturabo Ferrus Manus's Warhammer after the Drop Site Massacre. This is a very symbolic thing for Perturabo during the heresy. It's a whole can of worms I'm not going to get into, but let's just say it's a meaningful moment.
Here's this wrench.
And Perturabo,
thanks, bro.
Perturabo beat the hell out of Fulgrim in the book Angel Exterminatus, which
yep.
That's where Perturabo rejected Nurgle and defeated Angron. And he also defeated Angron in Slaves of Darkness. Wow. Perturabo's kind of a badass.
He's no joke.
Yeah.
Pro Turbo could have just beat their asses if he really wanted.
So the Iron Warriors, they're extremely relevant, extremely cool, and a hell of a threat. I think if chat had not elevated them to S, they would be high A for sure. High A. Okay. So now we're going to talk about the Death Guard. The Death Guard. Who are the Death Guard?
He's just a crybaby. He's not, though. He's okay. Perturabo gets a lot of shit because people think that he's just a whiny little piss baby, but he's a whiny little piss baby that could beat your ass and bitch about it.
Oh, I just now saw the comment from Hawk about he can fix it with the Tierlist. Womp womp. Oh well. Sorry, Hawk. I jumped the gun.
Weaponized autism. Yep, that's Perturabo.
That's one way to think of it.
Peter Turbo Autism. Let's go.
So the Death Guard, this is another one of the first founding legions. They were deployed as the slow but relentless force that will overwhelm any enemy in any environment, because they were the toughest, most enduring of the legions. They could handle toxic environments that other legions couldn't, and they ended up weaponizing a lot of that. They had alchemical flamers and toxiferin flamers. They had poison gas and all kinds of virus weapons.
They also made heavy use of phosphex weapons.
Yes, phosphex was something they really liked. The oh no, we just got a super chat. Oh no. Oh no, the exiled one, 8002 says Iron Warriors to C tier. Oh god.
I hate it. I hate it. Because
you know what?
I would put them above Alpha Legion. They're so much cooler.
They are cooler. You're killing me, guys. You're killing us, both of us, just right here.
Again, if anybody wants to switch anything on here, it's a $10 super chat to move things around. Please feel free. You could pick one thing and move it.
During the heresy, the Death Guard had a rivalry with the Salamanders because they were both really good at utterly wiping out enemy populations, but the Death Guard left behind a polluted, poisoned world, whereas the Salamanders left behind a world that was mostly cleansed by fire. So
yeah,
minor rivalry. Oh, we got another one. Stephen Lucas 8836 says, not the Purge, Flawless Host, Brazen Beasts, or the Scourged.
Now,
they got rules-based edition.
I did want to put a few more of these on the list, but I also know how much we talk about a lot of this. So we're probably going to be coming back to this exact list and adding more to it in the future. I really wanted the Flawless Host on here. I think they're really cool, but we talked about it and we chose the ones that are the most or more or less more relevant or more interesting.
And more interesting means they have enough lore to discuss. Sometimes a warband may just have like a paragraph. So
yeah.
Death Guard specifically, though, they continue their relentless spread of Nurgle's plagues across Imperial space. The Death Guard were corrupted by Nurgle. They are Nurgle's own warbands. They operate as a semi-autonomous group under Mortarian's distant command. Mortarian is the Primarch of the Death Guard and now a demon Primarch. Fun fact, he's got moth wings.
Yeah, which is kind of weird.
Well, it's okay. This is what I believe, is that it's related to when he was a Primarch, he used the lantern as a symbol. It's kind of a symbol of hope almost. Like Mortarian's a grim guy. He's very grim. But the one thing that he was like, I am leading the way. I am the man with the lantern. So I think it's, a reference to that.
Do you want to hear something a little crazier? A little bit more out there?
Sure.
Mortarian is a reference of Mothman. A symbol of destruction.
Huh.
Often seen on a lantern.
Interesting. Okay. I hadn't made that connection.
Iron Warriors going back up.
It's a fight now. It's a fight now. Look at the Iron Warriors back to the top of A. Thank you, FA4112. Appreciate you. Also, nice image. That's the Tsarina, I believe, of Kislev.
And then we got one more super chat. They're just being awesome.
Ice Veins 88. Thank you for the support. Really appreciate you.
Oh no.
GC Human Guy says, back to S tier. The wallet also contains iron within. Piss Marines be gone. Wow. The Iron Warriors are moving today. They're moving around.
They're just going everywhere.
This slander will not stand. I love it.
Oh, there we go. I think he did it twice. So if you do want to move somebody else, just let us know and we'll move them for you. Okay.
Yes. Thank you, GC Human Guy. Looks like you did post the same thing twice. So if you want another one moved, we'll move it for you.
Iron within, iron without, iron shake it all about.
So you're talking about Death Guard, right? We're on the Death Guard.
Yes. There is way too much lore to really dive too deep into the Death Guard.
Most recently, they started the Plague Wars against Ultramar.
Yep.
primary. It was a major invasion of Ultramar. They were the primary antagonist against Big Bobby G, or Rabute Guilliman, as we call him. The Death Guard are so there was a question earlier about the most united legion of Chaos. The Death Guard are probably the most united. Like, they are the most remaining in their legion form. So
I am also giggling at chat right now because we have another super chat to say
Oh,
Iron
no!
Warriors to see.
Oh my god!
But
Ah!
wait.
Spitfire
Give Iron
703.
Warriors a shield and keep them at S. So we did get a question in whether or not we're giving them shields. If people, I assume, donate a bit more. So I will say yes. So and
Works
now
for me.
it takes a bit more. Hawk, if you want to explain this to us.
Yeah, can Hawk, can
Please?
you drop that on us?
But we will accommodate to that because that sounds cool.
Oh, and he mentions LC Ice Veins comment. I meant to attach the comment. Would you ever do an episode on the Carcharodons? They're my favorite faction. Ice Veins was the guy who gave us the blank super chat earlier.
Oh, okay, yeah. And yes, we are. We are definitely doing them.
Absolutely, Carcharodons are on the list. Tyberos Red Wake is a very interesting dude. They're a very rare example of a chimeric chapter where they have multiple gene seed. They have Night Lord and Raven Guard gene seed, which is wild.
Also, they're so cool, and GW just ignores them, like the Exodites.
Games Workshop has a lot of things that become less relevant over time. I'm looking at you, White Scars.
Somebody said, did their super chat get ignored? I'm going to go back through and see if I can find it.
Oh, I'm sorry, Angel 2 BRY. We will Angel 2 Barry, maybe. We will look for that. We will look for that. Alexis will find it. I have faith.
Unfortunately, I don't think I'm seeing it.
Are you sure you went through Angel 2 Barry? Anyway.
I'm not seeing it, unfortunately.
All right. Hawk, if you find it, let us know. I didn't see it there. A bit off topic, but wanted to ask if you could change anything about the lore, its direction, or storytelling. What would it be and what stays the same? I think this is the one.
Okay. Did I just not? Huh.
This, yeah,
okay.
He says,
well,
at Lorebeards this, and then follows.
Okay, well, we'll answer it.
Yeah, he says that's the missing one. That's the missing super chat.
Okay.
So the question, change anything about the lore, direction, or storytelling. What would it be and what stays the same?
Add romance.
We talked about this. Go ahead.
I would add romance stories to 40K. I would make them tragic romances. I think that could definitely be a thing. I would add Yvraine Guilliman to be a bit more closer, if not an actual couple. But if not, I would still add them to be closer, as they are two individuals that can actually understand each other, where no one else in their entire race could even possibly understand what they're going through or what they have to do. If I had to change the direction of a story, I don't know. I'd probably make Vashtor a bit more. I would make Vashtor win instead of lose. It was really weird that he lost. Like, here's this brand new guy who's trying to become a god. He loses. That was really weird.
I also really like romance. I ship Yvraine and Guilliman, and if anybody remembers from 20 some odd years ago, love can bloom on the battlefield. I was a fan of that as well. Love can bloom. I believe it can. But the other thing I think that we should mention is, we talked about this during the Tyranids stream we did. It would be really cool if the Tyranids had some sort of face or a voice or a way to communicate that would make them a little less bland as a villain, as an antagonist.
How scary would it be if, like, as they're fighting a Swarm Lord and they finally get it down to almost death,
it starts
talking to them?
Yeah.
That would mess with them so much.
Or even like some sort of telepathic like burn out an entire planet worth of astropathic communication. Feed me, see more. I don't know, something. It would it would be interesting if there was a way to do it.
Also, this
So Hawk Oddly says, if someone donates above the move limit, they should provide a shield that blocks a move. So for the original 30, it would have been 10 move to S and then 20 worth of shielding to prevent moving. Usually it needs to be done in increments of the move value, so it'd be in $10 increments. Okay. Sorry, we did not know how this worked. Now we are familiar with the rules.
We are doing it now. We got this.
From this point on, that is the way it will work.
So back to Death Guard.
Right, Death Guard. Relevance, coolness, and threat.
So for relevance, they're still a 10 out of 10. They're very relevant this edition. They have a bunch of new models. They're really, really badass. They're very unique. I would give that a 10 out of 10.
Agreed.
For cool factor, I love painting Death Guard. Like, I absolutely love painting Death Guard. I get commissioned to paint Death Guard all the time. And I have so much fun painting them. Their miniatures are very characterful. They can look really good in bright colors or dark colors. They look good as like the 80s style. They look good as a grungy, like 90s comic book, like death look. I honestly love all of their artwork. I think they are a really good enemy. I'd give that a 9 out of 10 for cool. For threat level, it is weird with them as a threat level because it usually takes a magical MacGuffin for them to lose. In the Plague Wars, it took a priest to beat them and to show Gilliman to have faith in his father and that his father was a god for him to destroy a demon. Yeah, so I think their threat level is really high, but the Tau beat them.
Well, it's important to realize that they rarely muster in as many in as greatest strength as they did when they attacked Ultramar during the Plague Wars. So
yes,
the Plague Wars Death Guard is hell of a threat. Random Death Guard Warband, maybe not so much. So that may be why the Tau beat them, because they fought a random Death Guard Warband.
No, they fought Typhus.
Well, okay, Typhus he's a big dude. He has a warband. No, that's true, but he's not the entire force of their legion.
No,
which is different. That's what I'm getting at.
What the Fire Warriors saw was just a target.
Hey, fun fact: Typhus's ship is called the Terminus Est, which is a great freaking name. It's one of my favorite names for a ship in 40K. And another fun fact: Typhus is the reason the entire legion fell to chaos, not Mortarion.
It's actually why the Legion is more loyal to Typhus than they are Mortarion. Which is a very weird thing for a Primarch.
Last fun fact, one of the greatest characters of the Horus Heresy is a Death Guard member named Nathaniel Garrow. And
he is coolest character in all of 40K.
He's a very cool character. I dig Nathaniel Garrow. He's also one of the few Space Marines with an actual like real world name. Anyway, so Death Guard, I think we're going to put them in A or S.
I think it has to be S tier.
Less than Iron Warriors, though.
Yes, because Iron Warriors are currently protected.
All right, cool. We've got to speed up a little bit here. So Emperor's Children.
What could be said about them? Like they came back and they had a whole book of them coming back and doing nothing.
So the Emperor's Children are a warband. They're one of the first foundings. Yeah. They were they were focused on skill and excellence and attaining perfection. And then their Primarch Fulgrim found a demon sword, got possessed by a demon, and then the whole legion was like, you know what? Being perfect means let's change our bodies into weird stuff and go full into debauchery and hedonism. So they are Slaaneish's chosen chapter.
That scene, the opera scene, still one of the coolest moments ever.
The Maraviglia.
Random tangent. That was Fulgrim, or was that Fulgrim Palatine Phoenix? I always forget which one.
That was Fulgrim.
Just Fulgrim. My mother read that book. Okay, my mother has no idea what 40K is, or 30K, or Heresy, or anything. She read that book and thought it was really, really well written, and she loved it. She read that thing front to back in 2 days.
Okay,
she loved it.
Okay. We do have a super chat we need to go to, though.
Yep.
The Exiled One, 8002. Death Guard over Iron Warriors.
Oh,
All right, so we know that shields. So this now puts them a shield too, right? Because now we know the rules are it's $10 to move it, and then they get a shield.
Yes.
Okay,
Hawk,
so
make sure we understand that correctly. Can they do this?
yeah, I believe that is how that works.
I think so, but wasn't the Death Guard also moved for 20? Yes. Okay. Hawk, if you disagree with us, it's Hawk's fault.
Yeah, Hawk is the keeper of the records on this one. So the opera that she's talking about is a thing called the Maraviglia. It was a incredible scene in the book.
So goddamn cool.
Go check it out if you want to read more about that. But the ultimate thing is that these guys fell to chaos because their Primarch was possessed by a demon, and they are now Slaaneish's chosen legion.
Well, the Primarch was possessed by a demon, then oopsie daisy he wasn't, but then he was in a mirror, but then he was in a painting, but he wasn't because he was actually
and he got cloned
with the demon, and then he got cloned.
It's weird. But
yeah.
Emperor's Children, after Fulgrim's returned to real space, he's now a serpentine demon Primarch.
Yep.
It seems like he might be planning some sort of significant incursion into the material world, material reality. Lore suggests that Fulgrim is operating with complete independence from the Legion, like he's just doing his own thing.
Yeah.
And the Emperor's Children are, if you know what noise marines are, this is where we get noise marines. They literally have marines that are wired into sound weapons, kind of like Dune, like the Lynch's Dune, I should say, the 80s Dune. Anyway, so apparently Fulgrim wants to go after the Ultramarines. I guess him and Mortarion are going to tag team.
But the weirdest thing is in the Codex, he thinks about it, and in the book series, he gets ready to do it, and that's it. That's where we're at. He's like, I'm maybe here, kind of.
There's an upcoming novel called Fulgrim the Perfect Son.
Yes.
And we did get a new Fulgrim Primarch model and a complete codex and a full army release last year. So they're big. They're relevant, I would argue. Not as relevant as Black Legion, not as relevant as Death Guard, not even as relevant as Iron Warriors, but pretty relevant. I'd say 8 out of 10. I would
say like 7 out of 10. And I'd argue that it's 6 out of 10 because Fulgrim is just, in the book itself, he's not focused enough to do it.
Okay. Relevance, I think we could drop the relevance. Cool factor.
They are really cool. They make use of my favorite armor. Heresy armor.
The studded armor. Yeah.
Yep.
I will say that the heresy version, the heresy era version of the Emperor's Children is my favorite version. They look so goddamn cool. I don't really like the 40K look that very much, but it is what it is.
For me, I'm iffy on them. I painted so many Emperor's Children, the new Emperor's Children.
They're pink.
Well, yes. I think they're too busy. As weird as that is to say, because they're supposed to be too busy. That's kind of the whole point of them. But
drip, lots of drip.
See, I love Slaanesh demons. I just sold my Emperor's Children army. I don't think they're that cool.
Okay.
I'm weird about this one. I'm giving them a 5 out of 10 for cool.
And threat.
They are a threat, but not really.
C tier?
I think they're a little higher than C tier. I would put them middle B.
Okay.
Yeah.
We did get a super chat as well. Elemental Exposure. Thank you, sir. Arrived late, but this is a Lorebeards tier list, which requires Nurgle to S tier. They've got a double shield now, Hawk. Which is funny because we were going to put them in there anyway, I think.
Yeah.
Which is great. That's just great. All right, so that's the Emperor's Children. Let's talk about who are the Fallen.
So the Fallen are the Dark Angels that were not loyal to Lionel Johnson, but loyal to Luther. Which, if you guys don't know what a Luther is, it's when you take 2 donuts and you put a burger between them.
What?
I always that is what a Luther is, by the way. But jokes aside, Luther fell to chaos after the siege of Terra. Well, he
No.
fell during the siege. He was fallen during the heresy itself, I believe. And then, but Lion was so far and so busy that he sent him back. That's when he fell to chaos. He started working against the Lion, but Lion didn't know about this at the time. And Lion proceeded to keep doing what he was doing. Luther fell to chaos, started getting his loyalists, people that are loyal to him, to also fall to chaos or be renegades. We're not entirely sure how many of them fell to chaos, or how many of them were so discontent with the Lion's rule that they decided to, well, fuck off and do their own thing.
We actually have some numbers on them fairly
Well,
recently.
we know it's half the Legion.
Well, we've got more recent numbers, which is interesting. From it's from the most recent codexes and things like that. The situation with Luther and the Fallen is a little more complicated. Basically, I'll try to keep this as short as I can. The Lion is an exceptional commander, but is not beloved. He's a Primarch that is, at least during the heresy, was not beloved by anyone. He was kind of a dick.
What?
And I know. And his Legion was really their whole thing was like doing the jobs. The Emperor assigned them the most difficult, dangerous tasks. Like they had to go, they were sent to wipe out things that they couldn't tell anybody about. That's why the chapter secrecy became a thing.
Because Lion, contain the Men of Iron.
Yeah. One of the things the Dark Angels have in their armory is Exindio robots, battle automata, which are essentially unshackled AI, which is really dangerous in 40k. So Lion was off doing stuff, and he left Luther behind on their homeworld of Caliban to recruit and train all the guys. But the culture of Caliban was very warrior centric. It was Luther had been in he was part of a group called the Order, which were these knights that protected all the people from monsters that would emerge from the forest. And Caliban was close to the Eye of Terror, so there was a lot of chaos already on the planet, and the monsters that came out of the forest were really nasty and dangerous. So Luther kind of felt sidelined by this. He didn't really like being stuck on the planet, and the Mechanicum, when the Mechanicum came to the world, they just paved over all the forests, to create the things you would need to sustain a legion.
Yep.
So Luther saw his homeworld transformed into an unrecognizable wasteland while the Primarch was off doing stuff, and he was just sitting there training and raising up more guys to send off to go fight with the Lion. And he felt abandoned and betrayed by the Lion, which not unreasonable.
Completely unreasonable. How dare you?
And then they start hearing rumors that Horus has turned against the Emperor and that there's legions attacking Terra. And they're like, oh shit, well, what does the Lion think? Well, the Lion, because he's a dick, just hadn't reached out or contacted Luther in a very long time. So when the Dark Angels showed up at Caliban, Luther was like, open fire. They're with Horus.
Well, we are getting the Scouring books soon, and one of them is going to contain this battle.
Right. Essentially, it was a misunderstanding, along with a lot of resentment, along with a lot of really shitty behavior on the part of the Lion, along with misinformation and paranoia that caused the Legion to fracture and fight itself.
Now, there is a character we need to talk about, though.
Cypher.
The leader of the Fallen, Cypher.
So just if I may really wrap up, I'll try to wrap this up quick. The Dark Angels who were on Caliban fighting against the Lion, they were declared fallen angels. They were declared traitors by the Lion. And so they fled, and Luther made a pact with Chaos, and that's how they were transported off the planet, sent to various places and times. They were scattered throughout space and time. There are fallen who remember the heresy as only happening a few hundred years ago, and there are fallen who remember the heresy as happening full 10,000 years ago. They were scattered through. They were just sent like seeds, seeds on the wind across the galaxy.
There's also a Fallen who has taken off all of his armor and pretends to be an Ogryn.
Yeah.
Well, that's still one of my favorites.
They had to hide. So since the Lion has returned, though, he has started redeeming the Fallen and creating a group called the Risen that is Fallen that he believes can be redeemed. And to his credit, in Son of the Forest, the Lion kind of owned up to it. Like he's like, yeah, I failed you. I need to make this right. According to the most recent codex, so some Fallen have been forgiven. The majority of the Dark Angels chapter are still hunting the Fallen. That's been their thing for 10,000 years, is hunting down their former brothers. We know that approximately 30,000 Fallen currently exist, scattered across time and space, though the Dark Angels do not know this number.
Yep.
The Unforgiven, which is the inner circle, the inner circle of the Dark Angels, they are the ones searching for the Fallen. Their list is only about 136 names. So
they've not been too successful.
Yeah. So the Fallen are very fragmented. Some of them serve chaos willingly because they got screwed over by their Primarch and screwed over by the Imperium. Some are just rejecting both sides and preferring to be left alone. And others operate as mercenaries or integrate into human society as well as they can.
I actually have some of them just sitting here. The Arisen.
Yeah. And Lazarus, which is we talked about a little bit earlier, is the new Primaris captain of the Dark Angels. He seems to be less interested in hunting Fallen, which is causing some conflict and controversy within the chapter. They're like, hey, that's been our thing. Why aren't you doing the thing? Relevance of the Fallen is, I think, pretty low. They don't operate in any major groups. They're only in tiny warbands. Cypher is an important character. He is a named Fallen.
I do want to point one thing out, though.
Go ahead.
Cypher recently got what's his name, Luther, out of the rock.
So that is a new development.
That is pretty big. Cypher also made it to Terra. Helped
Gilliman.
He has a way of navigating that might be the forest or it might be the webway. We're not sure how he travels, but he managed to escape the custodians, and the custodians do know the webway there on Terra. So it's very likely that he has some help. But we do have a message that I thought was funny. Cypher is Corswain.
I don't think so. I strongly don't think so, but Cypher is definitely from Heresy era. I think we can agree on that. And Cypher is, I should point out, Cypher is possibly the most mysterious named character in all of 40K. They tell us next to nothing about him, and they keep him deliberately obscured as much as they can.
The reason that we know that Cypher is not Corswain is we know where Corswain was during the time where Nathaniel Garrow and a few others went to the Dark Angels' home planet, and Cypher was there and he talked to them. So Cypher is either one person, many people, but we do know that he's a desperado. I forget what the actual thing is called.
No. He was a Moritat.
Yeah, Moritat. That's what they're called. The Desperados of Space Marines. They get little cowboy hats. But we do have a super chat, and they want Emperor's Children into S tier.
Okay, Primogenitor, thank you, sir. Emperor's Children S tier, glory to the third. They were the third Legion, and I think they have to go there.
Yeah, because the others
these
two have shields. Yeah.
But good job, thank you. Yeah, and he's got Fabius Bile as his. He's definitely an Emperor's Children guy, as his icon. So the Fallen are low relevance in my opinion. I think
I think so.
10. Coolness factor, they don't really.
They are really cool,
but they don't really have models except for Cypher.
They don't. They have one model,
and threat level is also low. They're just not doing much.
The weirdest thing is like Cypher himself is a massive threat to the Imperium, but the group isn't.
Maybe. We don't know. Cypher might be the most dangerous thing out there. We just don't know enough about him to say. So I think C tier is fair.
I think C tier is also fair.
Scutari Boy says, thank you, Scutari Boy. I appreciate your support. Cypher is just a guy who's doing this for funsies. Oh, he's the One Punch Man of 30K. I'm just a guy doing this for fun.
So the one thing that I just sent in.
Well, they were scattered through space and time. I suppose one of them could have been sent further back in time than we thought. Who knows?
That is true.
I mean, I suppose it's possible, you know?
Yeah. What was I just about to say? I completely lost my train of thought, and I apologize. It was about Cypher. Nope, it's gone.
We got to blaze through these. We got an hour left. All right.
That's fine. We're doing great.
Night Lords, short version. They use fear and terror.
Spooky boys.
They are split up into numerous small warbands. Aaron Dembski wrote some excellent books about them. Low threat, I think.
The one thing about the Night Lords that I will say is if you know llamas with hats, that's pretty much the Night Lords.
Carl, why?
Carl, that kills people.
Yeah. They did get it. Go ahead.
How are we going to eat all these yummy, delicious, tasty faces?
They did get a new kill team, which is really cool looking.
It is really cool looking.
And they are very cool in general. I think their cool factor is very high on the Night Lords.
Yes. Are they relevant to the lore? Well, they did all, like a good chunk of them unified all together to kill an assassin.
The same assassin who killed their Primarch, probably.
Yes. That's cool. So at a moment's notice, they can all unify, which is terrible. Now, I say all, that is hyperbole. They can unify, and that is absolutely terrifying for a legion. But the Night Lords themselves are more or less strike bands that join up with like other attacks and things like that.
They don't have any central authority, and they have no long-term goals.
Yeah. So I think for relevance, they were always relevant. I'd give them a 5 out of 10 for relevance. They're just kind of there.
They got a novel last year.
And was it written by Aaron Dinsky Bowden?
No.
That's not important.
And they got the kill team, I think this year or last year. So fairly relevant. I'd say very cool, but I'd say low threat.
Yeah. I think a solid, like middle B tier.
Yeah, more than the Blood Gorgons, maybe. Are they? They might be more. Yeah, I'd say they're probably.
I think they're more relevant than the Crimson
Slaughter. Yeah, no doubt about that. I think you're right. Top of B tiers, I think, where they're at.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So that's Night Lords. Red Corsairs, we have a whole episode about Huron Blackheart. Go listen to that. They're space pirates. They take in just about anybody. They're legion sized, and they're actually the second biggest warband, period. They just got a Blackstone Fortress. Their threat is very high. Also, they're going to be the face of a new release soon.
Yes, they have a whole bunch of new miniatures. Horn Blackheart and his buddies got a whole bunch of new miniatures coming out, which I am definitely going to buy, mostly because I want to paint them.
They look cool.
For relevance, they're extremely relevant. They're the next narrative campaign. They're so you can't get more relevant than that. For cool factor, they're very cool. Threat level, very high. Hear me out. S tier.
I'm willing to go there. I'd say bottom of S, though.
Oh, I agree.
But it hurts. It hurts, doesn't it? It hurts.
Yes.
It hurts a little bit. Yeah.
Because they're one of my favorites. They're really cool. I like them.
Rush 21129 points out that Cypher is possibly a title as well. Yes, it does seem to be a title, like James Bond.
Also, a Cypher is just like a librarian. So.
All right, so now we're on to the Shadow Legion. This is one you know a lot about, so why don't you take the lead?
The Shadow Legion is weird because it's how to describe the Shadow Legion It is a Chaos Warband led by Be'lakor, who is in 40k is a human demon prince. Unlike the AOS version or the fantasy version of him, where he might be an elf, but he's not. But whatever. Be'lakor put together the Shadow Legion and has the ability to move them around through the shadows. Be'lakor is one of the most powerful demon princes. He is the first demon prince. He is chosen by all 4 chaos gods. He himself still kind of wants to be a god, but that's more of a thing in fantasy than in 40k. In 40k, he just wants to be like notorious, I guess. He has a legion that contains several titans. He
Knights.
can
Corrupted knights.
No, titans as well.
Okay, if you say so.
Yeah, he has I forget the name of his titan, but he has a named battle titan. He has multiple chaos knights. He has chaos space marines, and he has a plethora of demons. He's really cool, and he's pretty awesome. In the most recent lore, he fought Vashtor the Arcaphane, because Vashtor was trying to one-up him by becoming a chaos god, and Be'lakor was just like, nah, that's my thing, I think, and decided to do something that's completely out of left field for Be'lakor and win a battle, which is something he is not used to doing. So he didn't know what to do when the Dark Angels were just standing there, so he just left. He was like, I win. All right, I'm gonna go now. Okay, bye.
It's a very powerful. It's a very powerful detachment on the tabletop too.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's not as powerful as it used to be back when you can get the 6-inch deep strikes and everything, but it's still really good. So for relevance, I'd say he's fairly relevant. He was in the what was that campaign called? Wow, I can't remember the name of the campaign he was in, where he defeated Vashtor. Arcs of Omen. He was in the Arcs of Omen campaign.
I'm pretty sure you're thinking of the House Korvax Chaos Knights is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, because there is a Knights detachment dedicated to him, and then there's a Warlord dedicated to him. I don't know if it's multiple Warlords. I know there's one Warlord that is dedicated to him.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say he's pretty relevant. He also, in the Gathering Storm, led an assault against the Phalanx while it was still over Terra. And if not for the Legion of the Damned showing up, he would have destroyed the Phalanx.
Okay. I think he's definitely a threat. He's definitely relevant. In my opinion, he is very uncool.
What the shit?
I know,
he's
right?
So badass. Have you seen his model? He's almost naked. That's how you know he's really powerful.
It's the same model as fantasy. It's nothing different about it. But
you have a dead Primaris lieutenant on the base.
Oh, well, that's clearly, yes, obviously. How could I possibly mistake that for anything else?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you learn the errors of your ways.
We talked about this recently, but Be'lakor's niche is everything he does, someone else does better. He manipulates things from the shadows. Great. So do the Eldar. So does Tzeentch. He likes he's a demon prince who commands mixed groups. Yeah. I mean, Abaddon's got you. All the demon primarchs got you. Everything he does, someone else does better. And he's just, I hate to say this. He's one of the characters I consider pretty lame.
I love Be'lakor, but like I said before, it is rare for him to win a battle. And then when he wins, the writers don't know what to do, so he just disappears. Like, he defeated both the Dark Angels and Vashtor, and instead of destroying the rock or killing the Primarch, he just went, "Oh, okay, I'm done here, bye," and left.
Vashtor is infinitely cooler, in my opinion.
Vashtor is really cool looking, but his lore is kind of meh.
So for me, I think Vashtor and the Shadow Legion are a C. What do you think?
Yeah, I would put the
Oh.
No!
Yes, Acne Zebra's got my back. Be'lakor to F tier remains lame. Woo! Thank you, sir.
Oh, I was gonna say bottom of B.
This goes for you, buddy. Active Zebra, Shadow Legion.
Oh, what
we don't have it. We don't
this?
have an F tier, so I'll put him at the bottom of D.
Hawk, I will do nothing, but I will be sad about this.
We have a couple other super chats we should read while they're up.
Yes.
We got one from Friend or Trader. Hot take: Be'lakor is Malice or Malal. A lot of people thought that. A lot of people thought that.
I think he's their stand-in at this point.
Basically, I think you're right. And then we got Elemental Exposure says off topic, but would love a Fogrim what if show. Yes. Okay. You know, okay. I think he's talking about Clone Grim.
I mean, he could be talking about any of them.
All right. I will add that to the show, the list of shows that we could potentially do.
What is it? The disrespect for Be'lakor. I will get mine out of the closet. He is nice and bright pink. And he looks cool. And I'm mad at all of you. Me.
All right. So we've covered Be'lakor Shadow Legion, and I think he is in the right spot. So.
No. Disagree. The Be'lakor slander is palpable here. Y'all just hating on the coolest demon prince.
So now we're on to the Shriven. The Shriven are one of the most recent Chaos Warbands.
I'm not going to lie. I thought that's Skaven for the longest time, and I didn't want to say anything. But on my screen, it's a lot smaller.
You're not familiar with the Shriven?
Yes.
Okay.
I am agreeing with you that I am not familiar.
That's what I thought. Professor Shep says there's an Avengers Civil War theme here. Be'lakor is cool. Be'lakor is lame. Civil War. Yeah. To be clear, 40K Be'lakor. Specifically 40K Be'lakor.
Yeah.
Just to be very clear.
I think the most interesting one is the Be'lakor from Mordheim.
Yes. Agreed. That's my favorite version.
That's his coolest incarnation.
Agreed. All right, so the Shriven. Who are the Shriven? The Shriven are former Primaris Space Marines of the Brazen Drakes chapter. They were the first confirmed case of Primaris reinforcements turning traitor alongside their parent chapter.
You know, things happen.
So the original Brazen Drakes, they were spontaneously manifesting uncontrolled psychic powers. And the chapter master, Argento Corian, was executing affected warriors in secret purification rites, but eventually realized the affliction would spread to all of his warriors. And rather than face destruction by the Imperium for suspected chaos corruption, Corian led a rebellion, renamed himself the Enlightener, and purged all the loyalists who resisted. This brutal civil war consumed 3 star systems before the Brazen Drakes were defeated and declared Hereticus Diabolus Extremis. Not just executed. Yeah, they were serious bad guys. So the Torchbearer fleet, which is what they call when they send out Primaris reinforcements, it arrives at this devastated homeworld called Cassadur. And there was a Custodes shield captain on board this ship.
I do know this story. Okay, yeah. Continue. I knew I recognized it.
What's your opinion?
Well, the Custodians, don't they destroy this chapter?
Well, Tyrus immediately ordered the Gray Shields that were coming to the Primaris reinforcements, immediately ordered them captured and executed. Before they never fought alongside the Brazen Drakes, never had no corruption whatsoever. They were still on the ship, and Tyrus is like, no, kill them all.
Yep.
Because the flawed gene seed had corrupted them by association.
Yep.
Captain Garion was the Primaris captain. He's like, hey, we didn't do anything wrong, man. You can't just kill us. And the shield captain's like, nah, you're dead. A fight erupted on the bridge, ending with Garion's death. 10 Gray Shields died. The surviving Primaris escaped. And the shield captain, whose name is Tyvar, has vowed to hunt down every Brazen Drake to the ends of the galaxy. So, kind of like the Gorgons, they got screwed. The Crimson Sabers, they got screwed over. Kind of like the Red Course, the Astral Claws, they got screwed over.
This was in
no reason of their own.
This was in the not the Gathering Storm series. This was the one after that.
Psychic Awakening?
Yeah, Psychic Awakening. I remember reading about this.
Yeah, so the surviving Primaris Marines now call themselves the Shriven. They joined the Black Legion and allied with Fabius Bile during the War of the Spider. Corian reforged his forces on the tainted fortress world of Dessa, and now they fight with the Black Legion.
Okay, that's cool.
There was an Imperial execution force that tracked Corian to Dessa. They fought. The Enlightener, which is their chapter master, was killed. But the Shriven survive as a warband after that. And Fabius Bile transformed the remnants of the Enlightener into a golem of some kind of psychically empowered construct.
I actually imagined Gollum from Lord of the Rings.
And strangely enough, there is a Space Marine force called the Brazen Drakes that appears to have participated in the Carcharodon campaign defending against Death Guard, suggesting that maybe some of the loyalists survived or they refounded the chapter. We're not sure. So this is back in 2020. This is 6 years ago. War of the Spider.
Jesus Christ, 2020 was 6 years ago.
I know, right?
Oof.
So relevance is, I mean, they're definitely part of the Aerondomitus. Their relevance is high. I'd say 6 minimum, 7 possibly.
I'd say 5.
Okay.
Because they're just not mentioned anymore.
It's been 6 years, you know.
Yeah. What about cool factor? Do we know anything about these guys? Do we have artwork or anything?
I've said everything that's known.
Okay, so I think it's pretty neat. For threat level, they're under chapter strength. From what we can tell.
Oh yeah.
I would say bottom of C tier.
That seems reasonable to me. They are kind of the definition of a minor chaos warband whose the main distinction is they are the first Primaris chaos warband.
Yeah, I mean that's cool. Like that's definitely cool, but it's like,
So technically, you can't have Chaos Primaris play the Shriven. There they are.
Also, somebody save my boy. He's all the way down there, and I'm sad.
Hawk says that there's a battle report.
Yeah.
He's talking about Bellicor being killed by a rock. That's what he's talking about. Yep. Okay, that was a battle report, not lore. Boy, if battle reports were lore, oh my god.
Oh, there'd be so much dumb stuff.
Some events in battle reports have become lore, but I never count just the battle report.
Yeah.
I wrote battle reports for White Dwarf. Actually, if anybody doesn't know, I did that back in the early 2000s. Okay, so Sons of Malice. This is one I think you'd like. Do you know much about the Sons of Malice?
Sons of Malice are destroyed. They are gone. They are dead.
Are they?
I don't care that that's in a video game that you wrote. They are dead.
Are they though?
The Sons of Malice are a chapter dedicated to chaos of chaos nature. They are loyal to no chaos god except for maybe their own misinterpretation of what a chaos god is.
Malice. They're loyal to Malice.
Yes, like I said, they don't understand it. Malice doesn't exist. It's dumb. I'm joking. Malice is the chaos god of chaos, is a minor chaos god at best. And one of the bits of lore that they've done is over the course of 13,000 years or 13, they did a ritual to bring their god into existence. And they sacrificed thousands upon thousands of men, a good chunk of their own chapter, I think, or a good chunk of their own men to do this. And they brought Malice into the real world, which was then subsequently exploded by Admiral Spire.
Good old Admiral Spire. You can always count on him to do the right thing.
Exactly.
So here's the fun fact. The Sons of Malice are a Easter egg, a in-joke reference to a comic book from the 80s, which featured a fifth chaos god called Malal. Now, rights issues meant that Games Workshop can never reference Malal. So instead, they've created a entity called Malice to sort of represent him, because Malal became kind of a meme in the early days of the internet.
Yeah.
So that's what that's all about. The Sons of Malice, they reject both the Imperium and traditional chaos worship. Instead, they serve a minor chaos god called Malice the Lost. the renegade god.
Yep.
For reasons you now probably understand. They did participate in the 13th Black Crusade. They needed to gain strength to reclaim their homeworld of Skelus, Scelus, Skelus. Then they went into the Eye of Terror. They're guided by Malice. There's a book called The Remnant Blade, which came out last year, which featured them as characteristically twitchy and peculiar warriors. They're considered. The thing about Malice as a god, or Malal, was that he was happy to fight other chaos forces, like the anti-chaos chaos.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Sons of Malice are similar in that they are infamous for attacking other warbands.
But then they were blown up by Admiral's fire.
Well, I mean, yes, in a video game, yes.
Which, that part of the video game itself is probably not canon. The story overall is probably canon, but yeah.
It's a question mark. But
yeah.
So potentially they are gone completely.
Which fits their narrative really well, though.
There is a theory. There is a theory that Malice is actually one of the lost Primarchs. And some of the lore suggests that the Sons of Malice fight in complete silence. They never speak or make vocal noise. And apparently they're cannibals. They have a cannibalistic berserker rage, a frothing, foaming rage that transforms them into berserkers. Some kind of ritual practice from their homeworld does this.
How do you know if they're frothing berserkers if they don't make noise?
Right? I mean, that's a good question.
Jeffrey's shaking when he eats somebody. Frothing berserker.
I don't know. So the fact is that they're so minor. They're not much of a threat. They're not
I think this is the actual D tier.
Well, Black Legion was moved to the bottom by a super chat. Shadow Legion was moved to the bottom by a super chat. I think we have to keep them at the very bottom.
What was it? 2+ toughness said Black Legion is D tier. Outrage.
It is. We were both like,
It sucks. I put them at the top of S tier for being the most relevant, most cool, most cool, but the poster boy of bad guys. But unfortunately, super chats decided that he's in the bottom tier. It is shame. Also, hello, 2+ toughness. Hello.
So Rush 21129 asks, what were the White Dwarf numbers? I think he's asking about my battle reports. God, I don't remember. It would have been from late 2003 or 2000, somewhere in 2004. So look at the issues from 2004 would probably be my best guess.
It's any number between 1 and 518.
All right, so now we're on to the Thousand Sons. We're doing good on time, so I think we don't have to rush anymore. Thousand Sons are one of the original founding legions. They were under a Primarch called Magnus, who was extremely psychically talented. The Thousand Sons in general were all extremely psychically talented. They existed on a world called Prospero in a city called Tizca, which was said to be the most beautiful city in the Imperium at the time. It was a wondrous city of light. And the Thousand Sons, they practiced all of their psychic powers to mastery. They were all very, very good at it. They had beings of the warp called tutelaries who were teaching them how to expand their powers, as well as Magnus, who frequently ventured into the warp to learn more about sorcery and psychic abilities. He even spoke to the Emperor before the Emperor even found him by going through the warp. However, this all came to a head during the Horus Heresy when several legions, particularly the Space Wolves and particularly the Death Guard, who both were like, hey, using psychic powers like this is really dangerous and bad for an entire legion to do it. And part of the reason behind this was the Unification Wars, which united Earth, united Terra under the Emperor, had shown everyone just how awful and dangerous rogues, uncontrolled psychers could be. There were horrifying witch kings that they had to battle during the Unification Wars, human psychers. And they found many, Xenos psychers along the way that they also were like, yeah, this stuff is bad. It's unnatural. So the Emperor convened a thing called the Council of Nicaea, which was essentially a trial of Magnus the Red. And at the end of the council, we could do a whole show on the council. We could do a whole show on Magnus. We probably will. At the end of the Edict of Nicaea, the Emperor said all the legions are forbidden from using psychic powers or warp sorcery on pain of death. And this is very famously the one order the Emperor gave that almost everyone ignored.
What?
Yeah, eventually, by the end of the heresy, everyone had ignored this ability. The Ultramarines, even Big Bobby G himself, was like, "Nope, we gotta have psychers. It's the only way to fight demons."
I think one of the best stories about this is when Garrow grabbed the librarian from Rogel Dorn, and Rogel Dorn is like, "No, they're locked away," and he's just like, "So, come on, just use them." And Rogel Dorn, being all stoic and listening to Daddy, was just like, "No, all right, I guess I will."
We could do a whole show on the burning of Prospero, which is what happens next. Layman Russ gets dispatched to Prospero because Magnus used his abilities to try and warn the Emperor about Horus's treachery. In doing so, he ruined a major project the Emperor had been working on and caused mass destruction on Terra.
Awesome psychic powers.
Massive destruction in the Imperial Palace. Let me be really clear. Not all of Terra, but the Imperial Palace. So the Emperor was like, okay, Layman Russ, go take with you my Custodes, my Psi Titans, my Sisters of Silence. Sorry. Take all of these forces with you. Go present this writ of censure to Magnus and bring him back to Terra so that I can give him a stern talking to. Layman Russ says, okay, but on the way to Prospero, Horus starts talking to him, and Horus says, you know what you should do is just kill those guys. You should just kill them all. And Layman Russ, who didn't like Magnus, despised him, didn't like the Thousand Sons. Layman Russ, who is the Emperor's executioner, was like, you know what? Yeah, let's just kill these guys. So the Battle of Prospero was Layman Russ and the Space Wolves, supported by the Custodes, supported by the Sisters of Silence, supported by the Psi Titans, supported by tons of Astra Militarum. They land on Prospero at Tizca, and they raze the city to the ground. They kill Magnus. They kill most of the Thousand Sons. Magnus somehow survives, getting his back broken by Layman Russ, and him and his entire legion are teleported away to a planet called Cereterius, which is the world of sorcerers in the Eye of Terror, by Tzeentch. And they are Tzeentch's chosen legion. They had a genetic flaw that transformed them into weird tentacle creatures called the Flesh Change, and this occurred when they used their powers too much without discipline.
It's a chaos spawn.
Eventually, yeah. The lead librarian of the Thousand Sons was a guy called Azek Araman. Araman did not want his chapter to become mindless chaos spawn, so he created this massive spell called the Rubric of Araman, and it transformed the majority of the Legion into automatons. Their armor was sealed. Well, not like robots, but similar to automatons. Their armor became sealed. The flesh inside withered to dust, and they were essentially mindless drones. For the most part, the Legion sorcerers and commanders were exempt from this rubric, and they are the ones who now lead the Legion. What remains of the Legion? They were a small Legion to begin with, and they haven't really grown much. So
there is some lore that states that they can grow their numbers, but it's only through ritual, and it takes a very long time.
That is the absolute pared down paraphrase of the Thousand Sons. They are now a chaos force that strikes out, particularly against the Space Wolves. Yeah, big shock. And Magnus still dreams of being redeemed, I believe. So
one part of him does, yeah.
Skitari Boy, thank you, Skitari Boy. Thousand Sons in S, because I like Zangors and Tzeentch in general. Also, fun fact, I commissioned my PFP. What is that?
Profile picture.
Thank you. From an artist who turned Thousand Sun sorcerers into femboys. You know what? It's a cool profile picture. I like it. So Thousand Suns go to S tier. I think they have to be under the Death Guard, right? Because the Death Guard have a shield.
Yeah, I think the Death Guard have a shield left.
Okay, so that they are an S tier now. I would have put them pretty high because they are very relevant and definitely a threat to the Space Wolves.
Let's talk about some more recent history, because this is something that I really like.
Yeah, go for it.
In the most recent lore, the Changeling talked to most recent. This happened in 9th edition, I think. No, this happened before the fall of Cadia. But it was a story that was made after the fall of Cadia to lead up to the fall of Cadia. Anyway, GW writing is weird. But in this story, the Changeling went to the Dark Angels, and the Changeling tricked the Dark Angels by disguising themselves, obviously, because that's what the Changeling does. And I know a lot of people are like, well, how did the Dark Angels not discover the Changeling? The Changeling is literally one of the best sorcerers in the entire of everything of 40k. It's like second only to Tzeentch. It's crazy how powerful the thing is. But it's also second only to any other kid. Anyway, we're not getting into demon discussion. But in this story, the Changeling tricked the Dark Angels into attacking the Space Wolves because it showed them the images of the Wolfen. So the Dark Angels started attacking the Space Wolves. An Inquisitor came in. The Inquisitor broke up the fight, but that was all a ploy by Magnus, who then attacked after the Dark Angels retreated, and Magnus and his legion attacked the Space Wolves and nearly destroyed them. I still believe that there was somebody at GW that really wanted this to be the last hurrah of Space Wolves and just kill off the chapter only to have them reborn as Primaris.
That's what happened to the Blood Angels.
Yes. But the Space Wolves did eventually win with the help of the Dark Angels and the Inquisition. And the Inquisition got the Dark Angels to help them by just going, I know about the Fallen, which is a really funny thing because she just stares at Azrael and is just like, I know about the Fallen. Go help them. And he's just like, damn it. And it's not the first Inquisitor to ever say that to the Dark Angels. There's quite a lot of them, actually. It turns out that the Fallen are very talkative, especially when there's like 30,000 of them. But anyway.
There's way more than the Dark Angels assumed, that's for sure.
Yes. But they defeated Magnus, and then the Space Wolves decided to do the last hurrah, charging to Cadia to defend it, and then in their last battle barge, boarded the Blackstone Fortress, which then would fall onto the planet, but they did destroy the Blackstone Fortress. A bunch of ships then pushed the destroyed remains of the Blackstone Fortress into the planet to blow it up. But that was all a thing that Magnus planned. And I think that's relevant. Also, Magnus then tricked Guilliman into entering into a trap where he sent Celesk and Karanak, as well as a Bloodthirster, but Karanak was the important one, the dog, after Guilliman. And in this trap, Cypher had to come and try to help him. And the only thing that stopped the demons from killing Guilliman was that the Keeper of Secrets kicked Karanak. And yeah, you don't kick Korn's favorite dog. And all of the Korn demons immediately just went, I knew I hated you. Now I hate you more. And beat the piss out of the big on chaos fight. Cypher escaped with Guilliman. Then Guilliman was trapped on the moon because of Magnus. Magnus gets trapped there. Magnus basically gets pushed into a closet like a nerd. And then he leaves. Guilliman makes it to Terra. Then Guilliman makes his trek back. But he is very relevant to the lore, though he doesn't really win too much. He still gets his points across, though.
He's also his forces are active in the Pariah Nexus, which is a big one of the big war zones right now. The other thing you need to know about the Thousand Suns is they use a lot of automatons. They use a lot of robots.
Mm-hmm.
And they're probably the only chaos force outside of Vashtor and the Iron Warriors to use a lot of robots.
Mm-hmm.
The Iron Warriors have different types. The Thousand Suns robots are especially dangerous because they are psychically linked to their librarians, which is something that they could do during the heresy as well.
There's also another bit of lore. Azrael and some Thousand Suns were attacking Harlequins, trying to get to the Black Library. In doing so, they met Yvraine. Yvraine resurrected 2,000 sons completely, brought back their bodies and everything, and then immediately killed them in front of him and was just like, ha, nerd, and left. And he was just like,
yeah,
what you can solve all my problems. And she's just like, later, loser.
Poor Magnus. We did get a super chat from Ice Veins 88. I've been holding the secret steel chair. Night Lords for S tier, baby.
That is the last shield for the Death Guard. That puts them in the front, as far as I know. And if we are wrong, Hawk will catch us.
Yeah, Hawk, remind us if we screwed this up. But I think the Night Lords are now the top of S because of this. Thank you, Ice Veins 88. Appreciate you. We also got this one from Sarkatar. Sartakar, excuse me. If you are not yet a fan of Minotaurs, I see you have a Minotaur as your profile picture. Go to our Minotaurs 40K and sort by top all time. The conversions are amazing. Total War 40K Minotaurs, please. They're on the list. We're going to talk about Minotaurs. They are a really cool and interesting chapter.
Yep.
We get a lot of requests for Xenos as well, and so we're trying to like not do all Imperium all the time. But I want to talk about the Minotaurs, and thank you for bringing them back into relevance.
Because if we talk about them, we get to talk about the High Lords of Terror. And if we get to talk about the High Lords of Terror, we get to talk about the literal building that is the Arch Fabricator.
Yes. Oh, boy. All right. So that's what's going on with them. We're down to the last two, the Word Bearers and the World Eaters.
This the second World Eaters is a mistake. Don't worry about it. It's just there as a placeholder.
It's just a placeholder. Word Bearers. Word Bearers are another one of the original founding legions.
Before you start this, I just want to remind chat real quick. If you guys are unsatisfied with our list and you want to move something to somewhere, you can use the super chat feature. Just $10 can move any one spot to another. Like if you decide that the Night Lords are big dumb and deserve to be at the bottom, and the Shadow Legion, which is clearly superior, needs to be at the top, you could switch some things. You can only switch one Legion at a time with a $10 super chat. It goes a long way to helping us out, keeps us doing what we're doing, and keeps us happy. So
Word Bearers, like all the original founding legions, they're way cooler during the heresy than any other time in their lore. But the Word Bearers, were originally the Imperial Heralds. They were the purpose of the Word Bearers was to spread word of the Emperor, but
they're cheerleaders.
Well, Lorgar is the most charismatic of all the Primarchs, and Lorgar's sons were also very charismatic. They were excellent orators. They were from a planet called Colchis, which is basically Babylon, like the city Babylon, but for a whole planet. And the Word Bearers were the first to fall to chaos, thanks to their High Chaplain Erebus. Erebus sucks. Everyone hates Erebus, but Erebus is also the architect of the Horus Heresy. It is he. Oh,
what the heck?
The Exiled One, $10 super chat. Shadow Legion in quadruple F tier. Be'lakor belongs in the Shadow Realm.
I'll go cry.
Can I make? Is there a way to make? Yeah, there's a way to make another tier, isn't there?
Yeah, add a row below.
Yeah, and we make that F, right?
Just make it Be'lakor.
Oh no, I screwed up. This is still D. Okay. Sorry.
We got this.
All kinds of screwed up. Okay. So that's D tier. And then this one needs to be F. Nope. Still didn't get it. That one needs to be F. Nope. Still didn't get it. F. There we go. All right. So now Shadow Legion goes there.
Man. I'm so mad. I'm so mad.
Oh, wait, look. 1,000 Suns to top of S tier from Lord Vorn. Boom. This is all for the 1,000 Suns fanboys out there. Hilarious. You guys are great. I love you guys. Ice Veins is also new member for YouTube. Thank you, Ice Veins. Appreciate your support. All right, so back to the Word Bearers. Erebus found a dagger called the Athame, which is a weapon that had concentrated essence of chaos in it, with this weapon. He wounded Horus, and when Horus was convalescing from this wound, that's when he became corrupted by chaos and started the entire heresy.
Just to clarify, Erebus didn't attack him. He gave the blade to somebody who then attacked him.
Right. It wasn't Erebus is responsible for this, but he didn't actually wield the dagger.
Erebus also has one of the coolest artifacts in the entire universe right now. The most punchable face in all of 40K.
Oh my god. It's Super Orlok with another steel chair. Word bearers to S tier. It is written in the Book of Lorgar. The true gods demand it. Best Chaos Marines who worship the gods correctly. Well, that gives them a shield as well. With $20. So thank you, Super Orlok. And I like Lord Vorn. God damn it, for Lorgar. So Lorgar.
Also, we do have to point out that it is actually just a poop knife.
Oh my god, that meme.
You didn't know that, did you?
I'm familiar with the meme.
Okay, good. You know that it's a poop knife.
It's not one of my favorite memes, but I'm familiar.
It's a good meme.
I'll try to keep this short and sweet. The word bearers were part of the Great Crusade, and Lorgar was loyal. He and his adopted father Corfarin led the Legion to do all the things you do during Great Crusade, but they were the slowest of all the Great Crusade fleets because the word bearers would stop to raise temples and create great cities that worshiped the emperor as a god, which went directly against the imperial truth, which was what the crusade was trying to spread, this idea of secularism, that gods and worship were superstition. And the emperor was not happy about this, so he dispatched the Ultramarines and Malkador the Sigillite, which is his right-hand man and the second most powerful psyker in the Imperium, sent them to this place called Monarchia, which was the city that they'd built to venerate the emperor. The Ultramarines razed the city to the ground. Malkador forced the word bearers to kneel and watch as this was done. It was a humiliation. It was a severe humiliation to the word bearers. After this, Erebus, his influence grew, and Lorgar said, well, if the emperor doesn't want my devotion, there are certainly gods out there that do. And so through Erebus, Lorgar reached out to the chaos gods, and they became the first worshippers of chaos. There a lot of stuff happens in between, but basically that's where they still are. They are the most devout worshippers of chaos, and their Primarch is currently missing. Lorgar's running away from Korax, who's hunting him through the Eye of Terror. And I don't believe they form a major threat currently to the Imperium, but they are certainly a formidable force.
Weirdly enough, they started their own archenemy, which is the Sisters of Battle.
Well, yeah, so Lorgar wrote this book it called the Lectitio Divinatus, which basically said the emperor is divine. And even after Lorgar turned traitor, this book had a major influence on the Imperium and is the origin of the ecclesiarchy, which is the origin of the Sisters of Battle. And also the origin of the Black Templars. If you want to know where they came from, it has a lot to do with this and Lorgar's book. We have Lord Vorn. Oh, I already did that one, didn't I?
No, this is the new one.
New one. Lord Vorn says, 1,000 suns to the top of S tier and shielded, all is dust. Thank you.
Okay.
Followed by the exiled one, 1,000 suns to the top of X A tier and challenged and shielded. So it's triple shielded on the 1,000 suns. Let's go. Cult of Deception. Zinch commands it. The exiled one.
Does that move it above the word bearers, or does that get rid of the word bearers shield and the 1,000 suns shield?
The 1,000 suns are now double shielded, is my understanding.
Hawk, correct us if we're wrong.
He says 1,000 suns, top of A.
With one shield.
Oh, it is A tier. He did say A tier. Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, that dropped him significantly.
Yeah, Cult of Deception. Okay, got it. Thank you for the reminder. I appreciate you keeping track of that, Hawk. You're great. Well,
Who has shields?
I think just Thousand Sons.
Yeah, I think just the 1,000. No, did the word bearers
He
have
paid.
one?
Word bearers also have shield. Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Yeah, word bearers also have shield.
Hawk, if we're incorrect, please correct us.
Super Orlock paid 20 to put so the word bearers also have shield. The S tier is getting crowded, yo.
I mean, there's so many good enemies.
I think we can safely say the word bearers are covered.
Well, for right now.
We got 20 minutes left. Let's talk about the world eaters.
Not to be confused with the word bearers, even though my dyslexia hates when these two are paired together.
Micah says everything in 40k is because of Lorgar. You're close. You add Erebus in there and you're right.
No, you're incorrect. It's because frogs didn't give chemotherapy to space robots.
The Necrons in the word heaven, I presume, is what you're talking about there.
Yes.
Oh my god. Oh. Lord Vorin, 20 pounds is bigger than $20.
That is true.
All right. Hawk, you're gonna have to rule on this one. What do you think? What do you say, Hawk? All right. Meanwhile, world leaders. Go, Alexis. Go. What are the world leaders?
World leaders are frothing berserkers who want to kill and murder everything. They weren't originally frothing berserkers. They just wanted really hard to be frothing berserkers. Their entire battle plan revolves around being an orc, just charging at the enemy and just overwhelming them with sheer melee.
They are Khorne's chosen warband.
Yes, they really like corn pops. They, for the most part, most Khornate warbands have the butcher's nails. I don't know about newer ones. I don't think they can get them anymore. I'm not entirely sure on that. I haven't read new lore that said that other Chaos warbands that are dedicated to okay, thank you, Hawk. I haven't read any new lore that says new World Eater warbands get the butcher's nails. They usually just get a curse that's similar to the butcher's nails.
Oh, we need to explain what those are.
So the butcher's nails are a dreadlocks. That's what they're modeled to be. But there are a series of tubes that go directly into your brain, and they overstimulate your brain and cause a shit ton of pain. And the only way to satiate yourself from the pain is by slaughtering something.
It's not quite like that. The butcher's nails are an archaeotech device that's implanted into your brain. The cables do connect to it. And the device, the butcher's nails, what it does is it renders you unable to feel anything except when you're killing and in a rage. That's the only time you feel alive. It suppresses all other emotions. So the only time you feel alive is when you're killing things, and it encourages you to be a murderer and a berserker. This was implanted into Angron, the Primarch of their legion, when he was a gladiator on a world called Nuceria. Thank you, Hawk. And Nuceria had basically Angron was like Conan plus Spartacus. He led a slave revolt, and the Emperor showed up just in time to pluck Angron from the field of battle before he and his brothers, who he had fought with for years on Nuceria, left them behind. And Angron was very, very angry about this, partially because of the butcher's nails, partially because he saw it as a massive betrayal of everything he had fought to do. And his name, Angron, he's very angry. He didn't get along well with his legion. He killed a lot of his legion, actually.
There was one person that he got along with.
Karn.
And there was one person, not Space Marine.
Lotara Sarin, yes.
Lotara Sarin first met him when he was sitting in the command throne of her ship, and she slapped him.
and he admired her for that.
Yep. Also, she is the only person that we know of who stared down a Primarch.
The world eaters. The world eaters did not respect many people. They respected Lotara Sarin. She's one of the greatest characters of the Horus Heresy. Oh, we got another super chat. We've got the Exiled One, Thousand Suns to the bottom of A tier. Wow. Woo! All right.
Yep, my poor Shadow Legion is still at the bottom of the damn.
F tier for Shadow Legion, where they belong. I know. I'm being cruel right now.
Please continue. It's fun.
So the world leaders, they respected Latara Saren during the heresy. She's a great character. Unfortunately, she had a very unfortunate end, which is a bummer. Anyway, the world leaders now exist as roving. They are not a legion anymore. They are just roving bands of crazed madmen who indulge in their bloodlust whenever they get the chance. Angron has returned numerous times as a demon Primarch. The most recent lore is saying he's coming back more often than other demon Primarchs.
Yes, because he now has some new archaeotech or something that lets him continuously summon himself.
So cool factor is high. Relevance, 7 or 8, I'd say, maybe.
I mean, he's always popping up. Like,
fair. The problem is threat. Like, how much of a threat are world eaters to?
So under Angron, he does form a lot of them to him, but it's a lot of them. We don't know how big his legion is. Considering that Karn went on a butchery mission and killed every other captain except maybe 2 from the old world eaters that survived anyway. Karn killed almost all of them. And then Karn killed anybody.
Not Karn. Karn killed some, yes, but Angron also killed some.
Oh, yeah. But Karn actually has a whole book about him going after captains. True. And him saying that the only ones who have the right to lead are the strong.
Karn got messed up during the heresy.
Yes, he got run over by a tank.
Among other things.
And died.
Friend or trader, $10. 1,000 suns below Shadow Legion. Let the thralls of the changer burn. Oh my god. No shield.
Yay!
No shield, says Hawk. Says, all right, that they're not, Bellacor's not alone.
Oh, and I did want to address this really quickly. Guilliman didn't stare down a Primarch. She treated a Primarch like her son. Latara stared down a Primarch, literally told him to get off her chair. So yeah.
Hawk says 1,000 suns go back to A without shields. Okay, that's what that just got rid of the shield on 1,000 suns. Okay. Got it. Lord Vorn saying you can only move him up 1 or down. God, are we doing this wrong again?
No, we're doing it our way.
We're doing it our way. I guess any tier is what we're doing at the moment. Lord Vorn, I'm sorry if this is not the way it's done on the other channel. We'll have to look into that. Hawk, send me a message on Discord if we're doing it wrong. We'll figure it out. Bottom of A though, says Hawk. Okay, yeah, that's correct. Thank you.
Okay. So for the world leaders, every time they come back, they lose.
They have not done anything of significance in a long time.
I mean, Karn killed Celestine, but that's not really an achievement when Celestine has a whole page and a half of how she's meant to die at that point and doesn't fight it. So he killed Celestine and Celestine came back the next day all better. I think they're more relevant than the Crimson Slaughterers because they keep coming back.
Oh, absolutely more relevant. No, absolutely. They have their own models. They have their own army. Yeah.
Yes.
Crimson Slaughter has their own army, our own models, but the world leaders have been around for a much longer time, and they're in 2 different games, 3 actually, multiple games, because they're in all of the heresy stuff as well as Epic, Legions, Astartes, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're far more relevant. I might put them so 1,000 Suns have been put at the bottom of A, but I might put them in A tier or top of B. What's your thinking?
Okay. Because this is going to be a big... It has to do with Angron being the new avatar of Cain, where he just keeps losing. And because of that, I think he's fine in B tier. Besides, B is for blood, and that's their favorite thing.
That and skulls. Yeah. Big fans of both of those things. Skatari boy. Death Guard are in F right now above Shadow Legion because they're stinky Nurglites and aren't allowed to be above the Nurglings. And Hawk says Death Guard to F tier, no shield. Okay. Death Guard to F tier. Are they below? They're above Shadow Legion. Okay. So better. He still thinks they're better than Shadow Legion.
What the shit? I swear this whole thing is just chat being rude to Be'lakor and me by extension.
Okay. Yeah, somebody says, I just got here. Why is Shadow Legion so low?
Right.
Oh, we got another one. Ricky Chapman, Butcher Berserker, slay them all to be Wrath Incarnate and Eater of Worlds. Yes.
I mean, it's such a cool quote. I love it.
Actually, Angron he's a very tragic character. And as always, if it's a founding legion, they're really way cooler in the heresy than they will be later on. But
oh, go ahead.
All I was going to say is their symbol is very much an 80s album, heavy metal album cover reference. Most of the artwork from the 80s and 90s of the World Eaters is all heavy metal album cover references. These dudes are super metal, super bloody. They wield chain axes. They are really cool, especially in the heresy. But I think their placement in B is legit.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Yeah, Gaston says, "Oh, it's money. Carry on." He's like, "That's why they're so low." Got it.
Yes,
right.
That's the only reason that the Shadow Legion is that low.
So if we had our druthers, I think Death Guard would be S tier. I think Shadow Legion would be C tier if we had our druthers.
Yes.
Thousand Sons, I think, are in a good spot. Alpha Legion's a good spot. Night Lords are probably a little high for me. If I were to move them,
yeah,
Emperor's Children.
I would move them to bottom of A.
Red Corsairs, Iron Warriors, Wordbearers, those do check out. Although I probably would have put Wordbearers a little bit lower, to be honest. Alpha Legion, Cackling Death, Thousand Sons are probably in the right spot. Yeah. Crimson Slaughter, Blood Gorgons, and World Eaters are in the right spot. Fallen and Shriven are probably the right spot. Sons of Malice, right spot. Black Legion, though, should be S.
That should be S.
Yeah. And then, yeah, I think we have a pretty good tier list here overall.
Yeah. So again, if anybody wants to move things,
last chance.
$10 super chat. You could move things wherever. Holy cow!
Grim Isaac. World Eaters, Thousand Sons, and Emperor's Children to F tier, all above Shadow Legion.
Shit!
Oh
no love for the Shadow Legion.
Go,
God, he's just banished to the Shadow Realm over there.
Wow. All right. Well, Thousand Sons and Emperor's Children. Good grief.
Wow.
Good job, Grim Isaac. We appreciate you guys. You did it again. You definitely did, sir. You definitely did. Oh, Exiled One, Iron Warriors to C tier.
I say top of C tier at least.
Yes, I agree with that.
Unless he says bottom of C tier. If
like
his next message says bottom of C tier, then they go there.
So
why is my Shadow Legion still banished?
I think this is a pretty good selection of Chaos Warbands. I know some of the other ones were brought up from earlier editions that did have rules, but I think we covered the ones that have interesting lore and have something to talk about, right?
The one that I kind of wish that we added, but it has
Flawless
Host. Well, not Flawless Host, but Demonkin, which is strictly the Khorne Demonkin.
Huh.
But they're not really a warband. They are a thing that happens when the World Eaters slaughter things around them, or the Crimson Slaughterers slaughter things around them. The simple blood and everything, gets them. Spell summons them.
Hawk says we need to move Iron Warriors to the bottom of C tier. I think we missed one. I think we got the Exiled One, 8002. Iron Warriors to C tier. We did miss that one. Thank you, Exiled One.
And then we got a Black Legion one.
Gaston, Black Legion to C. They should be average at worst.
You know what? I'll take it.
I'll take it. I'll actually put them at the top of C because we can do that. Thank you, Gaston. Yeah. Appreciate you.
Good old Gaston.
No one super chats like Gaston. No one super chats like us, Don. Yeah, I think the demonkin, while interesting, I don't feel like there's just enough there.
Yeah,
Talk
it's
about.
like I said, it's not a warband. It's close to being its own thing because it's in every single like it's from 7th, 8th, and 9th and 10th edition has a demonkin. It's just it's not a warband. It's just a thing that happens.
All right, chat is going insane with super chats. You guys are awesome. I love you. Spitfire 703 says you can't spell Iron Warriors without S. Iron Warriors back to S tier. Then we got Elemental Exposure, Nurgle to S tier. Also, my prior super chat was about the Fulgrim clone in a Pokeball.
Oh, yeah. We got to do that. Trzin captured the
That's Clone Grim. Yeah, Clone Grim.
Yes.
That's what I was talking. That's what I was talking about. When he said Fogrim, I wasn't sure if it was the same as Clone Grim, but it is.
Yeah.
All right, so Nurgle, that's Death Guard, right? Death Guard go to S tier.
Yep.
All right.
Back up to the top, boys. We're here.
I think that's Hawk. Let me know if we.
I'm surprised that the chat isn't putting the Crackling Death at the top.
Exiled 1, Iron Warriors to the bottom of D tier. Oh
Iron
my god.
Iron without Iron's really shaking it about.
Iron dropped all the way to D is what happened. The Sons of I thought chat would be more into the Sons of Malice, which is really wild, but I was wrong.
I thought they'd be more into the Shadow Legion, but they're more into making me sad.
Hawk says everything is as it should be. Okay, thank you, Hawk. Appreciate you.
Damn, wow. Hawk, you just solved all of my problems in the history of forever.
So for me, what I'm taking away from this tier list is actually the Blood Gorgons are way cooler than I thought they were.
Yeah.
Crimson Slaughter is way cooler than I thought they were. When I came in, I was like, okay, I know the Sons of Malice are pretty lame, but I didn't know that I was going to really vibe with the Crimson Slaughter and Blood Gorgons like I did. That's the surprise. Was just how much I enjoyed talking about them. The Shriven are cool too, but they fall in that same category as like the Knights of Blood and the Red Corsairs. It's like they got screwed.
So this comment, he has a warband technically, but he's a little weird. I think if we ever revisit this, we will add him. But yeah,
and Vashtor if there's more lore for the Cult of the Arcathane. Skatari Boy with steel chair, Nurgle back to F under Shadow Legion. Oh no.
Yes, I'm not in last.
Thousand Suns to S tier. We missed that one. Okay, sorry, Lord Vorn. I apologize. Thousand Suns to S tier. Lord Vorn, there it is. I do see it. Thousands to F tier final offer. Thank you, Lord.
Well, he did say S tier. We could put that in the top. I don't think anybody has a shield right now.
Yeah, fair enough. That's cool. This guy's like, I'm glad no one's moving my Night Lords.
Night Lords in S tier has just been chilling there.
Oh, it's my buddy Ricardo Andre. Sorry for returning now only. Ross is your Conrad #1 lawyer. Fuck 90% of the Night Lords Legion. Interesting. Here's the funny thing. I actually like the Legion more than Conrad, especially like Savitar and the guys from the Aaron Dembski Bowden's novels. But interesting. And I did read your thing about fantasy. That the Warhammer Fantasy versions of characters like Bellicor can inform our opinions on them in 40K. That was a very good thing that you wrote there, and I wanted to make sure I mentioned that I read it. And Grim Isaac, Thousand Suns to F tier. Boom. Man, y'all are savage today. Just savage. Just tearing it up. Just tearing it up.
This is absolutely ridiculous. And the worst part is we only have a minute left. So this is it.
Friend of Trader says Road Corsairs deserve S tier, and everyone seems to know it. They do. They do deserve S tier.
They're so cool. Like I do love it.
All right, guys.
This was a solid stream. I guess next stream on Saturday, we will be posting more of people's miniatures and everything. If you want to join the Discord, please check it out. The Lore Seekers Discord, Lorebeards Discord.
Wait.
Oh my God, Iron Warriors.
Dowie forever. Dowie forever.
That gives them a shield too.
It does. Well done. Dowie forever. Sniping like an eBay auction. Love it. Iron chair. Iron
Oh my
Chair.
God.
Yeah, dig it. You guys, we really appreciate the support, and I'm looking forward to talking to you guys on Saturday. We've got a whole month planned of. Oh wait, there we go. Cackling Death to S tier. Too cool of a warband. I agree.
That puts them right behind the Iron Warriors because they paid 20.
You're right. Well done. All right, that's it.
I'm okay with this.
Cutting it off. We got to end the stream in like less than a minute, fellas. You guys have been great. We appreciate you. We will see you on Saturday for more Lorebeards. And remember, in the grim darkness of the far future,
there is only lore.
Thank you, Alexis, for helping me out here today. This has been, and Hawk, big thanks to Hawk.
Yeah, Hawk, you are the MVP here. Holy shit, you are so important to this.
Don't forget to join the Discord if you guys want to be part of the Lore Seekers community, and we will see you on Saturday. And catch y'all later. Stream is now ending.